Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to Lego Lord of the Rings. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And consider becoming a member if you haven't already. Really helps the channel out a lot. This is episode 14 of our Lord of the Rings series that will be going on until Marvel Rivals comes out this Friday. And if you guys haven't seen today's upload, please make sure that you check it out for a few minutes, because I worked on it all night, and I didn't get much sleep, and it only has like 500 views. So topic videos don't always seem to work either. I guess I got
You saved
lucky.
the channel. The channel was in very bad shape before your videos went up. Yeah, so, yeah, guys, don't forget to watch the video that Luke spent all night on. Also, Luke spent all night making the, uh, uh, Iron Man thumbnails, which I think look pretty dope, personally.
You said dope. No, Iron Man did not take me all night. I made those Iron Man thumbnails in 15 minutes.
Randomly today, we were like, oh yeah, I know Sally's coming soon. And it's like, oh my gosh, she's coming today. And I meant to get the code for the winner, Jade Rose, but I could not leave because I actually had to get the Sally DLC up. So I'm sorry about that, Jade. I will have to get up tomorrow and do it. Also, I don't want to say it because people have been really rude. Like, people have been trying to mess up our channel. But I do have to, like, because I took time off for Thanksgiving, I took almost a month and a half off to actually prepare for Thanksgiving, believe it or not. I had to literally redo the entire house so that we could have company, including getting like a futon and everything.
Looks nice.
Yeah, and I had to literally wash the entire fridge out, put little paper, thingies on it, and I had to literally like duct tape the fridge together. I had to do all this repairs on the house so that we could have company over. So literally, I've been like working for a month, and so now I have to literally put time into the channel and push those views, since a lot of them were lost for the last month. So, yep. So, yeah. So we got Sally. It literally only takes 20 minutes to get Sally in Dreamlight Valley.
Only takes 20 minutes to get Sally.
If you have all the quests done prior to when she's supposed to be there. And
well, there you go.
Some of our viewers do not have all the quests of, especially you want to make sure you have Jack Skellington quest all done. So make sure you have that. And then, I think what I'm going to do, because I had a question and I really wanted to make a video on it, but you know what? I am not good at talking longly on videos. I think I might actually.
Longly?
I think. And that's exactly why I'm not good talking on videos, because I say the wrong thing and I wish I could re-edit myself. Whereas if I was typing, I could easily go through and be like, longly, this isn't a word. I'm going to re-edit this. Find a thesaurus and take care of this problem. So, like, I think I'm going to make a blog.
You made up a word.
When people have a question, like, what did you think of the Game Awards? I'm just going to write it on my blog. Like, type it. And then when I type my opinion, I'll be like, here's my husband's opinion of the Game Awards. Here, and reference it. That way we can like cross promote each other. That'd be kind of cool. Also, I could type out everything that needs to be done, like for Sally on my blog. I could just type it out. Here's everything you need to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and type it out, and then put a link to our video on it. So I had an interesting question, which I really thought about doing a video on, but I don't think I should really do topic videos from a vlog perspective. I don't know. Maybe reviews of movies or video games, I could do a vlog. But topics that are like difficult, I don't think I want to vlog that, because I think it's just like too in your face. But I don't know. I guess I could quickly answer the question now since we're dead air. But Luke wants to get into this.
Indiana Jones is coming to PS5 now?
I have no idea.
I thought it was an Xbox exclusive.
I have no idea. I don't know.
Because I would much.
Oh, look at that.
I would much rather play it on PS5, because I don't like the Xbox controller.
So yeah, like, I don't know if I should answer this question now, but basically, I could answer it a little bit, and then I'll tell you guys. I'll probably write an article on it, or write, like, a blog on it or something. I'll have to make a blog to answer the question, but someone had a really interesting question. They said, what if you guys came across a game, since you guys are doing M-rated games now, if you guys came across a game that would damage your marriage or faith, would you still do the game? which I find kind of an interesting question because Luke has already had to work for a lot of publications that have made him do games he didn't want to do.
We've been around a long
And
time.
we have, even before we started doing our own videos, we have already had that question posed to us before even our first video was posted on YouTube, because we had to deal with that question years ago, before the YouTube thing ever even happened. We've had to deal with that, having to do a game we were uncomfortable with.
When I worked for that PlayStation site, they told me that I had to do one of my first jobs for them is I had to do Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, and that's the first game that came to my mind.
Yeah.
Is like,
it was bordering NC-17.
And Luke had to do that game, and I didn't want him to, but it's his job. Literally, the thing is, like, think of it like this. I think of myself as like, like there's some people, they have to like be a general in a war, and they have to fight, and there's like horrific things of war they have to see every day, but they can't just leave the war because they see horrific things and because there's things that make them feel uncomfortable. That's their job. They happen to be working in the army. They can't leave. So, it's the same in the hospital. Like, you're a doctor and you see something horrific. It might affect you in a bad way. You can't just leave your job because something makes you feel uncomfortable. You still have to do your job even though it makes you feel uncomfortable. So it's the same way as in a gaming industry. Like there are a lot of things on the internet that are pretty horrific. Since I've been on the internet, I've had to see some videos. I've had videos, linked to me or given to me that are pretty horrific, that I, probably wish I would have never seen that video, or I wish I would have never seen that image in the game.
Right.
But literally, it's my job. This is the job that I've decided to be. And that's why that's part of the reason why Luke and I wanted to make a safe space on the internet, because it would be better if people wouldn't have to see those horrific things. So we tried not to show them. But yeah, I mean, like, when we're doing M-rated games, like, and I've had a lot of coffee, so just full disclosure.
Gosh. Oh, so you're ready for Iron Man.
So yeah, I am ready for Iron Man.
Oh,
You
wow.
have no idea. So anyways,
okay.
Like, when we say we want the option to do like a, we probably, like, when we say we will only, that's why I've said, I really don't want to do games that, I really feel like this M-rated thing is actually going to be going towards our original channel vision from the beginning. Many people don't know this, but we originally didn't cover every new release. We really didn't.
We covered games we like.
We covered games that we enjoyed, and that's what the M-rated portion of our channel is going to be. It's going to be games we enjoy. And let me just explain, like, a few things. Number one, just because my faith is Christian does not mean I'm just like trying to push that on everyone. I'm literally that I happen to be a Christian and I have a gaming channel. It is a part of me as a human being. However, it's not a part of my job, except for the fact that yes, it will probably influence, like, I might not want to do a horrific thing with a ton of nudity because I am that. But there are many other religions, there are many other faiths that also have a problem with tons of nudity and violence and wrong thing. And there's also just cultures across the country and the world that have problems with that. So it's not just me. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people, there's people, that are, Muslim and Buddhist and Hindu, Jewish, all kinds of cultures that have a problem with excessive, anti-family, violence, nudity, etc. There's a lot of cultures that have a problem with that. So I'm not the only one. So I'm just saying that, it may influence, like, I'll second guess if I'm going to play something that's like NC-17 rated, but
there aren't that many.
I would hope that even people that don't have any faith at all, even agnostics or atheists or people that are non-religious, I would hope that they would also second guess playing something NC-17. I think that people normally, even if they don't have faith or something, I think normal people don't want to play that kind of stuff either. I don't think.
Well, you have to remember that back then, like, Dante's Inferno was like a very, very taboo type of game. Like the M rating back then used to have games that really pushed the envelope of like what was allowed in M rated, and there wasn't. There was a genre of gameplay that went above mature,
Yeah.
but it was very hard
It-
for a game to meet that criteria. So Dante's Inferno was like right at the very top of what was allowed with a mature rated game,
Yeah,
and they
so-
even in today's standards, there are very few
So
M rated games that push the envelope as far as Dante did.
yeah, and also like, I can't think of anything that could like. And and I probably, I was gonna say, maybe I should make a video about this because, I guess I have a lot to say about it
Apparently.
because basically, I think Luke and I are very different than a lot of people, than a lot of Christians. And one thing people don't know about us is that we both, came to a saving faith when we were both very small little children. We did. So basically, most people that are of the same faith as us, they go through their whole life, and then at some point in their life, they completely change, and then they change everything they're doing. Whereas Luke and I have had to grow up our whole life, knowing God is watching us and basically doing the best we can, but we've always made mistakes. We've always done things that are, as a kid, you're gonna do things that are wrong. You're gonna do the wrong thing. And I think like a lot of people of our same faith, they look at it like, well, now I have this standard. I'm never going to do this ever. Never? What if you're never going to do this ever? Like, you're never going to ever look at a game that might have violence in it ever. You're making this standard. You're making the standard for yourself. Whereas Luke and myself, it's a little different for us. I'm not saying like I'm gonna go out of my way to do it, but I'm saying I don't think. Maybe I will have to make a video on it
I'm getting a little
because
confused.
I don't know if I really want to say what I'm thinking because so maybe I will make a vlog on it explaining because. For me, like, there's nothing that I can, if I make say I make a mistake, like I did. I made a mistake on the Final Fantasy 16. I thought that game was going to be fine, and it wasn't. It wasn't good for the channel. It wasn't good for my faith. Whatever. I didn't know it was going to be like that. But for me, that's not for me. That doesn't, like, separate me from God. Like, it doesn't separate me from my husband. It's not going to damage my faith. It's not going to damage my relationship with God. God already knows that I am a human being. I'm going to make mistakes. So, I don't think that there's an M-rated game that could literally damage my faith. Like, I might make a mistake, but I'm just doing the best that I can as a human being. That's my answer to that question. So maybe I'll make an article talking about it more, but I think I already answered it.
I think.
I don't know if anyone understands what I'm saying, but basically what I'm saying is it's... I don't look at life like, oh my gosh, I made a mistake and now my faith is ruined and I can never talk to God again. I don't see it like that. It's like, I already know that every day, from the minute I get up to the minute I go to sleep, I'm going to be making a lot of mistakes. And all I can do is just try again the next day to try the best I can. That's all I can do.
Okay.
I'm done talking about it.
Sorry, I don't really understand what's still going on, but something about I'll leave it at that. So we're in we're in the city that is supposed to what's the word I'm looking for? We're in the city that is supposed to be near Gondor. That's kind of like a city that
Thank you.
is like a giant fort or something.
Thank you, Champion Paul says, you guys are the #1 YouTubers in my eyes, Luke and Amber, because of your goodness, honesty, straight up honesty, and finally your skills in gaming commentary, and I'm serious. Thank you, Champion Paul. You're so kind. Thank you so much. But yeah, like for me, I see it as like, like Luke and I have to comb through all these very bad games and look at them and deep dive into them and try to figure out, okay, what's in this game. I have to watch horrific cutscenes of games and see if it's appropriate for the channel, so you don't have to, basically. That's what I I see myself as like I am like a game guardian basically. So, well, of course I forgot to do that with Final Fantasy 16. Oops.
You didn't know it was gonna be that bad.
But in general, I'm not a perfect person, but I am going to, in general, you guys know us, like, like we're going to try our best as people, as imperfect people, to do the best we can to try to be, game guardians and try to, if a game has some violence, but it's not like, it's not terrible and it's not degrading to people, or it's not horrific, or it doesn't have some kind of weird, message that's like, anti-family or anti-humanity or trying to, hurt people, then yeah, I mean, like, as long as if the game is a good message and, it's, and it's generally, respectful to people and there's just some violence in it, yeah, like, then it'd probably be one of those games we probably do. But basically, I'm thinking of the M-rated thing as a way that Luke and I can find a game that we already like that's M-rated, that we could play, that we just never played because we were like, darn it, it has that M rating. I wish it didn't, because I could have played on the channel. I'm talking about, like, Black Myth Wukong. We really wanted to do that. There's one. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So it will be like we will be picking and choosing, like hand picking it. It won't be like, oh, now the floodgates are open and we're gonna play every M-rated game.
Yeah, that's not what that means.
It's more like, it'll be like our old channel where we used to actually be like, hey guys, here's a game called Double Dragon Neon. It's awesome. You guys should try it.
Fisty.
And I know, but that was in the olden days. We did that, and people didn't know what that game was, but we showed them what it was, and that was our older channel. People were saying stuff like, wow, I'm so glad you guys are showing me all these games that I didn't know about. And that was basically what our channel was. We were actually showcasing games that people might not know about. And so hopefully we can do that, and that'll be a good thing to do. So that's my 3 cents in it.
Okay. Why are they not letting me?
Thank you for the kind words, Champion Paul, and everyone. I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you.
Wait, why do I have red sunglasses on? I'm not supposed to have red sunglasses on as a ring wraith. That's weird.
Well, I could go into it more, Garrett, but I'd have to write like an article about it and write it down.
Probably be a good
Because
idea.
I think if I went into it too much, it'd be, number one, I'd probably confuse myself and everyone, and yeah, and I get too into it. Yeah, only God is perfect. We can't be God however hard we try. We are only human. That's so true, Champion Paul. Yep, that's exactly what I was trying to say. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
What is it, Luke?
I was lost for quite a while. I didn't know what was going on. And we was talking about all kinds of stuff. It's just kind of like, okay.
Well, and it's interesting. I was also thinking about something the other day, like, with the person that was, like, trying to explain why we were always being targeted, and I really came to, like, a epiphany about it, and I really realized, oh my gosh, like, this is the reason why. And I really think it's because, and I really believe, you know how you guys, ever heard of, like, the old railroad companies? They would buy everyone's houses, and property so they could move the railroad through? Well, there's people like that on the internet now. They want to get rid of any wholesome content. They want to get rid of anyone who's faith-based. They want to get rid of anyone with any kind of moral standard. They want to get rid of any kind of person that's going to argue with them if they're trying to push their agenda online. They want to get rid of anyone that could get in their way. And they want to push their own agenda online. And they're like a huge railroad company. They're getting rid of anyone who's in the way so they can push their thing through with Hollywood and all this. And Luke and I are like, if you guys have ever heard of, like, I used to read stories about it in school, where there'd be like this one small, shack or house, and this old guy didn't want to sell his property because he lived there for 20 years, didn't have anywhere to go, and he wouldn't sell to the railroad company, and the railroad company would come with letters harassing him and, death threats and all this, trying to get him to sell his property, and he didn't want to because it's his property. And I really think that is the best explanation of why people are bothering our channel. I really think it's like YouTube and Hollywood and all these people see our channel is in the way. Like, they want to push their new agendas and everything. And they push their new stuff through. They want to start, pushing stuff like Jimmy Kimmel and, like Drew Barrymore shows and all these Hollywood celebrities. They want to push these people on. They want to get rid of the old YouTubers. They want to get rid of gaming. They want to get rid of all this stuff. And Luke and I have been here forever, and we're like that old guy in the house, and we don't want to move. We don't have to. Like, no one can force us to sell our property. Like, they can't. So, that's why YouTube and all these people and all, keep getting us all these threats and keep bothering us. But in reality, like, they can't legally make us, leave. So that's how I see it. I see it as like they're trying to bulldoze their thing through with the, railroad company, and we're not so important. It's just that we just won't move out of their way. We're just a small channel, and they need to get everyone out of here. They need to get all the old out. They thought they could do it by making income lower. That didn't make us leave because we just worked harder. They thought they could do it because they would try to accuse people that were wholesome of targeting younger audiences. That didn't work because then we just played more teen games. They thought they could do it by making things harder and harder, by making things more and more difficult to get money doing streams, more and more difficult for things to get seen. They thought they could get channels out of here by making them magically hacked when they tried to click on an opportunity for, helping the channel out, like with a opportunity for, like, working with a company.
Very
like,
confused.
And a lot of channels, once they hit 500,000 subscribers or about to hit 1 million subscribers, they magically get an opportunity. Like, hey, here's an opportunity, you should click on this, and then their channel magically gets hacked. I really think they've really tried to weed every wholesome type YouTuber channel out with all these things, and Luke and I, every single thing that they've tried to do, we keep sticking around. So there's the answer for the person yesterday, because I really don't think it's anything I have personally done that makes me like better than anyone else or more wholesome than anyone else. I just happen to be a normal person, like everyone else who's watching are basically normal people that just want normal things. And we won't get out of the way for these people. And I think that's the main reason why they keep doing it.
Okay.
Alright, honeys, I'm ready to watch you play this.
I'm stuck. It won't. I need the ring wraith section to move forward, and it won't move forward. Like, I think I missed something, or
yeah, definitely champion Paul. I'm glad you're feeling better, Miss Dan. I think that's happened to your channel and someone else's channel as well, Miss Amber, unfortunately, but his channel didn't lose all the stuff after getting hacked. Yeah, definitely, Miss Deanna. Is this a question Amber was answering from yesterday? Yep, it is. I just feel better answering it. I know no one remembers the question, but it just makes me feel better.
I don't know. Try pushing all this over here, and then maybe I can jump over it. Or maybe there was something I was supposed to do with Sam and the other guy? Or something? I mean, you would think it would just jump over this. But
Well, Luke is very tired today.
I've only gotten 4 hours of sleep, maybe.
I'm sorry, honey. Do you want me to do this video and you just sleep for an hour?
No.
Are you sure?
I think I missed something with the ring wraith guy, though. Or it's possible it glitched out. Anything's possible, like with LEGO glitches. LEGO glitches can happen at any time for any reason, for any purpose. That's why free play is in the older LEGO games, free play is always kind of like, oh, I missed something, but right now I can't make it over here because there's this this wall, like maybe a ring wraith was supposed to break something and they didn't break something. I don't know.
And then halfway through this, I'm gonna have to get something to eat because I'm nervous about doing the VR thing.
The thing with VR is you don't want to eat a lot though, because you could get nauseous.
Honey, I'm not gonna get nauseous. I haven't eaten at all. Because that coffee.
There are 2 ring wraiths here.
Yeah, definitely Wally. That's true. Yep, that is Providence. I agree. Yeah, and it is interesting that every time YouTube pushes me into a corner, you know, like, for instance, like, if YouTube wasn't pushing me so hard, I would have never pushed myself to get better at certain things, you know, I'm getting better and better at just explaining how to do all the tasks in Dreamlight Valley, and I'm finally actually doing, like, the main lead on, like, the VR thing, and I'm pushing myself to help more. I usually wouldn't push myself ahead into the limelight. I'm not that kind of person. But because YouTube is pushing my husband so hard, I have no choice but to do it. So it's actually pushing me in a direction that I probably wouldn't have gone normally. So exactly what people mean for evil and God uses for good. It's very true. Yep. I hope you guys are all having a good day today, and I don't even remember what I've eaten today. I don't know if I've eaten anything today. I've just kind of gotten up and started going. Yeah. What I really hope is that I would not, like, you know, after being pushed around by YouTube for a long time, what I'm really hoping, and I'm seeing how much it's devastating us. I mean, it has to be devastating some other people as well. So I really hope that Luke and I can not only stand up for ourselves, but hopefully, I pray and I hope that we can help other people too. And like, you know, other YouTubers, but also, you know, I think that YouTubers that continue to stick to their guns and, you know, aren't bullied by Hollywood and YouTube corporate and stuff, I think that even if your channel is just surviving, I think it is helping people, because you're not just helping other channels, you're also helping people that are watching, because to stick with your content and to not change your content and to not sell out and become Hollywoodized and everything, I think is a great thing, because, you know, years from now, people are going to want to watch some, you know, somewhat decent, wholesome content that's not, you know, shill content where you're just repeating what Hollywood is telling you to say. People would like to see people's honest opinions online, so I think that is a good thing to shoot for, because, you know, in 5-10 years, if every YouTube channel just sells out and becomes shills, no one's, you know, that's not going to be good. There's not going to be anything good to watch on YouTube. There won't be any honest people left on YouTube. So, you know, in a way, it is good to stick to your guns. That's what I think.
Thank you for the super chat. I see yellow.
Alright, thank you for the super chat, James Graves. Says, God bless you, Luke and Amber. I hope you have some time to get some sleep. Luke, don't push yourself too hard. Don't want you to risk your health. And you're both in my family, me and my family's prayers. Thank you, James Graves, for your super chat and for your generosity. Thank you so much. Thank you for your help and for the kind words, James. Thank you.
James Graves. And hello, Link.
And I think, like, it's interesting, and I probably make those people mad again, but I thought it was
I don't even know what's going on.
I thought it was interesting that yesterday, when we really started to get hacked hard, it was right when I said, I have the same opinion as most people. It's a normal opinion. And when I said that, then they were hacking me very hard, which means the reason why they're coming against us and hacking us a lot is because they're afraid.
You're also saying a taboo word over and over again, though.
I know, but but they're also afraid. They don't like the fact they're in the minority. Like, most people don't want to have stuff pushed on them. Most people would like to play a decently made game, like Mario and Luigi Brothership. Most people enjoy that kind of game.
Yeah, Mario and Luigi Brothership is a good game, and it's a surprise that it didn't even receive any type of nomination or any. It's just being it's being ignored a lot, and it's not as bad as people say it is.
It's not bad really at all.
And
except for the
it's
very
only
end.
it's only one company that says it's the only review that I saw that Mario and Luigi got a 5 or lower was from IGN. Everyone else is pretty much given the game like around 7, 6s, and a few 8s. It hasn't really gotten very many 9s, but it's not a 5 because IGN was such a big publication that did that though. Like it did mess things up, and also it turns out that IGN is actually on the board of directors that decides what games get nominated at the Game Awards.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that explains so much. Oh wow. Okay. So they're corrupt companies on the board of the Game Awards. They get wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
We found out this year
wow.
that there is a whole group it's a whole organization that basically decides how the Game Awards operate.
Wow.
Like, there's the fan polling that they have people vote for, but that is not necessarily the deciding factor of how a game, it's not through a voting thing from fans. Like, that's why fans were surprised, like, because fans really voted for, like, things like Spider-Man and 2018 and all this other stuff.
This explains so much.
This is how a lot of the game activist games like won Game of the Year a couple times, is because like you have these organizations that are supplying like the stuff, and they meet as a committee and they decide who's going to win and things like that. And then the voting that people do online, it can basically be like kind of like a voting based system, but it's not 100% a voting system. That's why like the guy who made Screw Attack was making his own Game Award show.
Right,
and
right.
I don't even know if he's still doing that or
Craig.
not. But it turns out IGN and Screen Rant and like all these companies like are with like other game studios like Sony and all these other people that determine how the Game Awards go. And it's like this big, like, it's almost like this giant commercial too, because they pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to have certain games like announced and revealed to the world. Like it's possible
corruption.
that Nintendo paid an exorbitant amount of money to the Game Awards
to have the Nintendo category.
No,
maybe,
to reveal the Nintendo Switch 2 to the world.
Oh, so it's all about the money.
It's like a giant. It's like how E3 over the years became like this massive marketing thing. Mm-hmm. Like we called it Gamer Christmas because it showcased all this stuff. Yeah. The Game Awards is kind of like this, celebration of what gaming was over the past year, but also it's like a giant commercial showing people what's, the next big thing. Like, even Arkham City was revealed during the Game Awards. Like it was announced, I believe, or teased or something like that.
Yeah, it's just and you are like family to us too, Champion Paul, and we keep all of you guys in our thoughts and prayers, and we appreciate you so much. Like the fact that they've tried so hard to get rid of this channel. And when we first we never had memberships or anything for years. And then when we asked people for memberships, and we were like, if we don't get memberships, the channel's just gonna die. And we thought, well, that's it, the channel's gonna die. And then people just started getting memberships, ultimate memberships, donations, everything to keep the channel in the air. And we were just shocked. Like, I was shocked. I remember, and I'm shocked every day. I'm shocked every day. And like, not only from your kind words and like how you guys all help like share stuff and all the kind things you guys say, which we don't deserve, but also like when we're in really bad shape, the channel's in bad shape, you guys give we get super chats and people become ultimates and members and stuff. I have literally cried so many times and just was like I'm so you know, I just, you know, I'm just blown away by everyone's generosity, and it's because of you guys that the channel's on the air, and I, you know, and we've always got people in our thoughts and prayers. Like even when we didn't have memberships and stuff, we always did, because you know, I'm just the same as you guys and gals. You guys could be up here on the microphone giving your opinion just the same as me. I'm just a regular person like everyone else, and I'm aware of it every day that I don't, you know, I'm just given things I don't deserve all the time, and I appreciate you guys very much. I don't mean to talk on and on, but thank you, Champion Paul. We see you guys like family too. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, what did I interrupt you about? What was I talking about?
I have no idea. I'm just politely trying to listen.
I have had way
I
too
don't
much
know
coffee
what's
today,
going
so I'm just like, I think I'm gonna need to get some food in me to like offset the coffee. Oh, sorry about that.
I literally started working at my video at like 4 in the morning after, or it was 5 in the morning. No, it was because I made the voiceover first a few days ago, because Zelda always attacks me and jumps around and distracts me whenever I do voiceover. Link doesn't. Link attacks me when I use the mouse to edit. Zelda attacks me and has to be in the basement when I'm laying down audio.
I was thinking about something, and you guys were talking about how, you know, you're talking about the Game Awards and like this constant push that they keep pushing for like basically their influence above what gamers actually want. Like, instead of just polling gamers, what are the top games this year? And then whatever the top games are, then you vote on that. They don't do that. It's like influenced by IGN, all these other organizations, which is kind of corrupt because they're influencing what people get to vote on, which is not accurate to what people actually want for the games. Like you said, like Spider-Man should have won that one year.
Spider-Man should have won in 2018, you know, and Ghost of Tsushima should have won in 2020.
Mario, yeah, and I hope Mario Brothership gets nominated next year, but they said it has to be before November.
No, it's not. The fact that
so it was snubbed. Like Mario and Luigi Brothership was snubbed.
The fact that Mario and Luigi got a 5 from like one publication.
They did that on purpose to snub it.
You're not gonna get a.
But that wasn't inaccurate. That was just wrong. Like them giving it a 5.
They were salty over Dragon's Age. That's what it felt like.
Well, I mean, what did they expect? I mean, nobody liked the game. I don't really understand. Most of the stuff they're salty about is just literally just reality. They're constantly salty about reality. They see that people don't like the game, and then they're angry because people don't like the game. No one is actually physically doing anything bad to them. They're just mad that people have an opinion other than themselves.
Well, you have
That's crazy.
The best way, like, for a Lord of the Rings analysis is, like, the game activists are kind of like Sauron or Saruman, and, like, the rest of the world of Middle-earth is now standing up to these places that had, like, all this power and corruption, and they don't like it. They feel like they're, you know, they're running scared from the army of, like, goodness and morality, and it's derailing all their plans. Like, they had a lot of plans, like, to basically transform the world into one massive, like, DEI thing, and now everything is falling apart. Like the Ents invading, you know, Isengard. Like they're not.
It's like people just want good gameplay and good story, and they just want a game that's fun.
Right, but rather than just like getting out of the way and being like, okay, you know what, our time's over and it didn't work, they're frantically trying to cut down the forest and build barricades and trying to go up against the army of goodness, and they can't because we outnumber them. And the thing is, we're not. With the death of cancel culture, normal good people are not afraid of the tyranny of cancel culture, and so they're standing up.
Yeah.
Like people that were too afraid to speak before are speaking in droves, and it's drowning out all this wickedness.
Yeah, I mean to take power over somebody else and try to push your ideas on them or your what you want, and not allow people freedom of their own choice and their own opinion and their own will and their own thoughts, that's evil to begin with. Pushing your will on everyone else, that's evil right from the get-go. The whole idea of them wanting to take over and force their opinion on everyone else is evil to begin with. And it's like, I was just thinking about what you guys were saying, where everything's like crazy nowadays. Like, I was talking, it was like maybe 8 years ago, I was talking to a family member, and they were talking, because they heard I work on the internet, and they were like, why is everyone so crazy on the internet nowadays? Like, what's going on with young people? That's what they asked. And that was 8 years ago. And I said, and my...
8 years ago wasn't that bad.
Well, it was bad, worse than 20 years ago.
Well, yeah.
And they were talking about it, and they were saying, like, that they felt like the world was in a war of ideas. Like, everyone was warring, not in a race. Like, there were no wars at the time. It was peaceful everywhere, but everyone was warring in their mind, in their ideas. Everyone was arguing on the internet. It was so many wars of ideas. I thought, well, that's weird that they put it like that.
Well, what's funny is, like, 20 years ago, when I was working in the game industry or whatever, starting in 2004, I used to joke with colleagues that, you know, if we're not careful and we don't set boundaries, as well as, like, you know, like the political correct movement will eventually, like, take over the world and, like, subjugate everybody. Because they don't have any fun. They don't have any levity. They don't have anything. And, you know, look at what happened when they took over the game industry. There was no more, like, funny game reviews.
Yeah.
There was no more, like, everybody took everything seriously, or everything had to be some type of platform. You know, everything that I joked about to colleagues, like, essentially happened. Like, we could kind of see the writing on the wall with these groups back then. And we just kind of, like, turned a blind eye to it. Like, that'll never happen, and all this other stuff.
We were warned years ago, like, even in the 90s or whatever, like, comedians, they were told they couldn't do certain jokes because it might offend someone.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, you know, if this continues, this is going to take over the whole world. Everyone's going to be afraid of offending people, and no one will be able to say anything. And everyone thought, no, that won't be. Like, why would that happen? But it did. Like, the comedians were right. Like, they were told they couldn't do certain jokes. Like, okay, now I can't do a joke about an old person. It might offend someone. You know, I can't do a joke about someone who loses their keys a lot. That might be offensive. You know, I can't do a joke about someone from New Jersey. It might offend. No, I'm just... Sorry.
Shots fired.
Sorry. Sorry. I can't do a joke about somebody who's a gamer and is from New York and and does video games for a job.
I've been pretty tame on the Jersey jokes, because I've gotten to know Miss Deanna and like Fernando, some of these Fernando and some of these other people.
Yeah.
So I haven't been on, like, a Jersey, like,
that's what they said
escapade
back then. They
or
were like,
crusade.
they said, like, you know, people were like, well, you know, you can't make a joke about someone who walks with a cane because it will offend people. It's like, well, they're like, but if you can't make a joke about that, then pretty soon you won't be able to make a joke about anything. And they were right, you know. That is where we've come, where it's like they started making one thing and then another thing and another thing, and now you can't make a joke about anything.
Well, I mean, it's slowly, as I've said before, the pendulum always swings back. When people think that, you know, everything is over, and, you know, the only way forward is, like, more oppression and tyranny and all this other stuff that's been going on, and silencing people that they don't want to have a voice, or you're not allowed to have a voice if you have a dissenting opinion, or even if you have an opposite opinion, they treat you like you're some type of, like, dictator or fascist or something. That kind of stuff didn't happen 20 years ago. There were several people that I worked with that held, like, I would say very, like, different views than me. Like, some were libertarians, some were whatever. The most important thing we did at our jobs back then is, in the office, there was literally something on the wall that said, you know, don't talk about politics, don't talk about religion, you know, don't talk about, like, someone's skin color. Like, those were just, like, things that you didn't do at work because it had nothing to do with your job.
Right.
So over the past, like, I don't know, like 5-6 years, that completely shifted to where topics that weren't allowed to be discussed, because it didn't really help with production of a company, it didn't really help with getting a product out or all this other stuff. Like, it was just kind of like water cooler talk that expanded into something, like, extreme. And now it's like kind of things are shifting back, where people are kind of like, you know what, nothing good comes from talking about this stuff at work anymore, because, you know, we're not getting stuff done. There's all this infighting, there's all, like, this dissension and stuff like that, and these companies are starting to, you know, reject all this other stuff and go back to like merit-based like hiring of people. And you know, the world is slowly kind of coming out of where it was, and a lot of that had to do with the pandemic, like when everybody was like, you know, locked inside of their houses, and you know, they were given a voice because of TikTok and all this other place to say like all this bizarre stuff without any consequences, or people like, hey, you know, that's weird that you think that. There was nobody to challenge that because everybody was all isolated.
Yeah, thank you, James Graves says, we love you, Luke and Amber, you both rule. You rule, James Graves, and you guys are all amazing. We think the world of all of you guys and gals. Thank you.
Where's the other tree at?
Yin and yang will always happen, says Game Wing.
Yep.
It'll all shift back, I think Game Wing is saying.
Yep, yin and yang, very important.
And the dragon, Cannibal the Dragon is saying, if we can laugh at anything, then all we have left to do is cry.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that's the truth, is like a lot of humor is, it's literally having to deal with life. Like people like, you know, they make wife jokes because, you know, sometimes marriage can be frustrating, so it's like, it's a joke.
It's supposed to be relatable.
Get levity, like, of the situation, or people make jokes about their boss or traffic, because it's supposed to help deal with reality that you have to be in traffic every day. You have to go to work every day.
Yeah, traffic sucks, so you talk about traffic.
So you like joke around about things you have to do that suck, but it makes you feel better because you can joke around about it. And when they make rules like in games saying, oh, you can't joke around about this, it's like, well, now everything is serious. Nobody's having any fun. Everyone.
Not just that, but they covered up like tons of characters. They were like, okay, it's a problem that this person is having a bathing suit, or this person might be showing a little bit of skin, so we have to cover the whole thing up. But then at the same time, they have the guy parade around like without a shirt on, or they make the guy look all like, so that, you know, they make things like go from one extreme to the next.
Yeah,
there's no balance.
They take it from one. But thank you for the gifted membership. If we can't laugh at anything anymore, says Vic, we might as well just hand the world over to the robots now, says Vic. RVB Vic.
Oh yeah, AI's coming. Like the fact that they've now, that's the scary thing. It's like, I don't even think that Musk has seen Terminator, because like we're now giving AI the ability to make video games and do all this other stuff. If people aren't careful with this whole AI stuff, like these sentient like artificial beings could, you know, basically bring about all the horrors that we used to talk about in the 80s and 90s of these creatures like that aren't human but have like human brains or whatever. To the point where they have no emotion. They have the knowledge.
Yeah,
and they see patterns and all this other stuff. Like, we have to be very careful with all this AI technology, because this could be very problematic.
We got a highlighted message and a super chat.
Okay.
Thank you, Tim Muller, and thank you, Wally, for the super chat, and thank you, Tim Muller, for the highlighted messages. Hi, Amber and Luke. It's been 30 months now of a membership. Wow.
That's crazy.
Almost 6 months away from 3 whole years of membership. Thank you, Tim. You're amazing.
I think we have to throw stuff at it.
Tim says, I was just wondering if you miss doing community streams that we used to do. You guys have changed my life. Thank you so much, and God bless you both.
Do we miss community streams? To some extent, yeah. But we had community streams taken away from us because that's how people were harming us, is they got access to our friend code system, and then they got our IP address, and that's when a lot of the DDoSing happened, was because of that stuff.
It's very easy to hack somebody when you have their friend code, and it's very easy for a random person to just come in the chat and be like, hey, can you add me real quick so we can do a quick match?
Yeah.
And then they hack you the next day or during that stream or something.
We found out that Amber and I kind of did things that wasn't how a lot of YouTubers did things, because YouTubers don't communicate with each other. Very few YouTubers would play with their audience, and a lot of that has to do with their protecting themselves from having their equipment hacked. They're protecting their address, like, because a lot of people have gotten doxxed, streamers, and it was very hard for them to to what's the word I'm looking for? It was hard for them to swat us, like, because they weren't able to do it like when it was really dangerous. Like it happened like when it was already something that law enforcement was aware of that was happening to people.
Yeah, we were lucky in that we didn't. A lot of other YouTubers would constantly get hacked all the time. From day one, we really didn't get hacked that much, even though we were doing everything possible to endanger ourselves to get hacked. We were playing with people all the time, Splatoon and Overwatch and everything, which was the worst thing you could do if you wanted to get hacked. But yeah, I mean, like, and I was talking to Luke about this yesterday because I had the weird comment in the chat yesterday, and I was talking about it to Luke this morning or last night.
I can't remember.
Ever since the Discord incident where people lied about us on our Discord, and then, caused a huge amount of stress to us, I got very sick. I had something very bad happen to me. We lost our whole Discord. We could no longer have Discord anymore. A bunch of subscribers ended up doing some really messed up stuff that was completely illegal and trying to take our channel down or say something bad about us. Somebody impersonated somebody that worked here and then said lies about us. A lot of people believed that person, and then after they believed that person, then they, before that incident, we really didn't have a lot of haters. After they believed that person, and then we had to actually find the person who they impersonated and ask that person, did you say this stuff about us? And they said, no, it wasn't me. So a lot of people to this day still believe that original person was the person who literally knew us and said all this stuff. But in reality, we've already talked to that person, and that wasn't them. It was someone pretending to be them. So a lot of these haters and all of these hackers and stuff is literally based from that incident that happened. Where somebody told a lot of lies, impersonated somebody, and people to this day believe them. And a big portion of why people won't stop hacking us is they cannot deal with the reality that they believed lies and then harassed innocent people. And that's really the real reason why they've been harassed so long, is people can't deal with the guilt of having harassed people that did not deserve it. We did not deserve being harassed. We never did anything to anyone. But they, instead of dealing with that, then they will have to make a reason why we're evil so that they can justify the actions they've already done to us, which is, what evil people generally do that are crazy. So that's what they're doing. So ever since then, we've been hacked, and we're going to get hacked for the rest of our life because people think that something happened, that we did something that we never did, because they won't seek out the truth. Did we? Yeah, I love playing with people online. I love playing Mario Kart with people online. Unfortunately, the internet is weird. If that Discord incident never happened, we probably would still be able to play online with people. But that incident did happen on Discord, and ever since then, we have all these hate groups of people since then that have all stemmed from that. Yeah, so very messed up, and unfortunately, we have to act like every other YouTuber now, which is we have to protect ourselves. So we don't have the luxury, of doing it. And it's, we still do community streams. Like, we still do. We sat there with 16 people in our lobby just a few days ago. I mean, one thing I have to explain about community streams is that for 3 years we were heavy on community streams, and that was because I didn't know what to play, so all I did was play with people. So I did a lot of community streams because I didn't know what to play with people, so I thought, why don't I do community streams?
Well, also you were doing community streams because you were trying to say thank you to our members.
Yeah, and I was trying to say thank you to our members, and I was just trying to be nice. I just liked being nice to people. And so yeah, of course I like that, but it's community streams aren't safe to do for YouTubers, and
they never were, but nobody ever told us that.
And we were basically playing with fire the whole time we were doing it. And now we're being hacked a lot. A lot of those, I mean, we probably still have people that friended us from a community stream years ago that we still, I had to comb through several of our accounts. It's going to take me several years to comb through hundreds of names and get rid of a lot of them And then maybe in several years we won't have any more hacking because we might.
Well, I mean, we'll be moving.
Yeah.
When we move, we'll start over again, and we probably will never do
if
community stuff like that again.
Yeah, I mean, like, we can do community streams on PlayStation, fairly, because that has security on it. So as long as it's secure.
But I mean, we still, to some extent, we still do community streams. Like, we play people online in multiverses. We play with people online in like Disney Speedstorm.
Yeah, we still play people online. We just play it when there is an event, when there is content to show.
Yeah.
Instead of just randomly, oh, I'm going to do the community stream to say thank you to the community. We can't really do that as much because, number one, we're desperate for views all the time, and number two, you know, we have to keep our community streams far in between. If YouTube gave us all the money back that we deserve from all of our, you know, old videos, and we were just rolling in dough, would we do a few more community streams? Maybe, but we probably would never do it, even if we were rolling in cash and we had tons of extra money and tons of extra time to do community streams. I probably would never do it to the extent that it was done because it's so unsafe and it would cause my channel to be hacked very quickly, and then I would not be rolling in dough anymore. I would lose everything again. So it's very unsafe to do. So that was like a life. It's like if you had a kitchen fire 2 or 3 times. After the second or third time, you wouldn't do the same things you did before that led to that kitchen fire. You would have lots of things in place. You wouldn't, you know, say you used to do banana flambe a lot. You probably wouldn't make that dish anymore because you had had a kitchen fire twice already from it. That's kind of where we are. It's like, I've had banana flambe in culinary. It was delicious. But was it worth the risk of setting my kitchen on fire? No, it's not. I will just have to not have banana flambe. You know, I can still do other things that, I can use my stove. I can still do some community streams once in a while when there's a new character in Fortnite. When there's Mario, when there's a new Mario Kart, we'll probably do community streams. If the security goes well with the Switch 2, then
I'm sure that the Switch 2 will have things that work with firewalls and security equipment and stuff like that. The problem is the Switch itself is such like dated technology that it can't update the firmware and the like all this software stuff the way that a PlayStation and an Xbox is basically like a PC. Like the Switch is I hate to say this, the Nintendo Switch is like a souped up Android smartphone from like 2016. And there's only so much that you can do to that Android to keep it like running efficiently like year after year, because eventually you have to trade in that smartphone. Nintendo should have traded in or upgraded their Switch hardware to the next model 2 years ago.
Yeah, we can do community streams as long as it's very secure. Like, we will probably never I will probably never play Splatoon and add random people off of the chat that I never have seen before on my Switch as a friend. That's very dangerous. You know, I could make a room in which we have a code and people can enter that way and play, and that's better. Like you, Tim Muller, you're a member, and I know you've watched for many years. You know, I'm not afraid of adding you as a friend on my Switch because I'm, you know, I know who you are. But, you know, like someone that I've never seen at all, I probably would not add them to my Switch. I used to do that all the time.
Look at how other YouTubers do stuff too, guys. Like when you see these big Fortnite players and stuff like that, like they play with their mods and they play with people that they trust. They don't randomly just be like, hey, we're going to let so-and-so play with us. They'll have a Discord community where they'll control like what people are allowed to play Minecraft and stuff like that and open that stuff, but also they're very careful about who they let into their server.
Yeah. So the days of, you know, like, hey, I noticed you're playing Mario Kart, can I play? You know, for you guys starting your own YouTube channels, you know, up to 20,000 subscribers, whatever, you know, go for it, because people aren't out to get you. Like after you've been on the YouTube for a while, people just become your enemies randomly, even if you didn't do anything to them. They just randomly are like, oh, they didn't see my comment, or, you know, they didn't play the game I wanted. They become your enemy, and you just get a lot of enemies. Even if you didn't do anything, you just get enemies. So when you're starting your channel out and you guys want to play with random people off the internet, go for it. But at a certain point, when you get to a certain number of subscribers, you're going to have to do exactly what we're doing. You're going to have to be more secure. And Luke and I have been online 15 years. We have to be secure, so it can never be, you know, but like we're just doing it exactly like everyone else does now. Like Luke said, we play with people we know. We only add people we absolutely know.
Well, to some degree, I mean, we still make some mistakes. Like, we're playing online with people on multiverses and Fortnite, and we're not like being like, okay, we're only going to play with mods, or we're only going to play with members.
Yeah, but that's more, PS5 is more secure. But if we ended up being hacked through multiverses, then we would probably switch how we're doing that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we basically trust people until people burn us, and then we change our policy after that.
Yeah.
Thank you for the super chat. Wally says, as a Christian, I don't believe in free will. I believe we do not make our own choices. It's just our choices are tied to our sin nature. That's interesting, Wally. I
disagree with that, but I'm not going to get into it.
I believe that God is in control of everything. You know, I believe that if, you know, like even there was an incident that happened with me and going on a trip for a family that I did not want to do. I did every single thing I could to make a certain thing not happen. And God in his providence changed everything around, made a bunch of events happen, and literally caused me to spend more time with Luke's grandmother. It was not my I was not going to do that. I had work to do. I wasn't planning on it, and there was certain things I didn't know that was going to happen, but God, you know, Luke's grandma was praying for me to spend time with her, and it happened against my own will. God did it without me even having anything to say in it. So yeah, I think God can make people do stuff without, you know, you having anything to say about it. But I don't know. I think we can agree to disagree on some things, like, you know, and, you know, but yeah, I understand what you're saying, Wally. I don't know exactly, like, everything. I don't all know the differences between what you and I believe, but, I know that God loves both of us, and he loves everyone here, so that's what matters the most.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wally, for the super chat. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. And thank you for the gifted membership, Justo Kenobi. You're breathtaking. Thank you for the help, Justo.
But I do want to say that I loved, like, what made our community stuff so unique is it was our community streams, how we were giving back to, you know, our viewers like a couple times a week or something like that, and it made other YouTubers talk about us in a way that kind of like, wow, you guys are really close with your viewers, because a lot of YouTubers keep their fans at like an arm's length, and we were like at the point of like giving our fans like hugs, like we were, you know, trying to be like one big, and we still are like one big family. Like here, people still say like wonderful things about our community, but before was like a much bigger thing where, you know, we were doing this kind of stuff because we hadn't been hurt yet, and then basically people took advantage of us, and, you know, we had to kind of change our policies and do stuff, and that really hurt, because, you know, we really did enjoy, you know, playing online with people in that community setting, but there would have to be like some type of safety measures, as well as like there'd have to be ways of protecting us and our equipment and all that other stuff. And I'm honestly not that tech savvy to be able to even do something that complicated, because I'm just a streamer. Like I don't have like a big the security people who help us, they're a contracted company that we pay like hundreds of dollars for a month to monitor and do stuff, and it's not like we're close friends or anything. They're just a company. So it's not like before our company was like a flesh and blood group where we had people who we knew, who were our employees, who were our PR agent, who were our licensing manager, you know, who helped with our website and things like that. And now it's more like what's the word I'm looking for? We don't know these people as like people. They're just like companies. and it's just like companies that have an agreement and they're gonna be professional and do the best they can, but they don't know you on like a more interpersonal level. It's very what's the word? It's very like
business like
transactional, I guess you would say.
just matter of fact, just without there's no emotion, or there's no relationship. It's just business. I don't know.
Yeah, where before I worked with friends and colleagues and people that I knew, and now I work with people that are like I've never really met and things like that.
It's just getting a transaction done. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like interacting with a McDonald's kiosk, but it's a person.
Kind of.
Yeah. It's just not even friends from work. It's like it's just work. It's just I don't know how to explain it. It's like people the way people talk to us when we talk to them about getting a code for a game. Like some of the people we used to talk to, like Grace from Namco. My gosh, she was so nice and personable, and I actually talked to her for like an hour about her shoes from China and all this. Like we just got to know her and we were laughing and stuff. There's nothing like that anymore. Like we don't meet people like that anymore. Like nobody is like, oh my gosh, we don't hit it off with anyone. Like everyone we work with now is just there. It's just like
Yep.
yeah. Thank you for the super chat. James Graves says, you both are good people. Thank you for standing up for God, morals, and being true and honest people. God bless you, Luke and Amber. God bless you, James. Thank you so much for the kind words. I appreciate that.
We don't try to do that though. The thing is, like, Amber and I we're very common sense driven people, so when the world went crazy for like 4 or 5 years, we to appear to like these evil people, like the wicked people, it was like a very bright light that was causing problems for them with us just existing, because our thoughts and our beliefs and our actions and how we interacted with our viewers, none of it changed. It was exactly how it was like when we first started, and that was a problem for them because we didn't change with the times. Like, and the times were changing in a way that wasn't good. I never felt comfortable with what was happening with that movement, like those activists and all that other stuff. Like it felt like it was kind of like a very dangerous or very suppressive and kind of like do this or we're gonna hurt you type thing. Kind of like the mafia showing up and saying, hey, if you don't do what we say, we're gonna break your legs.
Like I was saying, like Luke and I, I wish Luke and I could actually make a whole video about our origin story, because we're not like, it's like one of those memes, like not like other people or not like other girls or whatever. Like, well, you guys probably don't know those memes, but I do. But anyways, I'm not like other girls. I don't need to, have a manicure before I go outside. Like, there's this weird meme. But anyway, whatever. But Luke's not a girl, so that doesn't apply. But anyways,
I think my analogy works. That we were normal people, and the world
just stayed the same.
The world changed so much that it looked like
we were problematic. It looked like we were changing, but we literally just kept it. It's kind of like that movie, one of Luke's favorite movies with Brendan Fraser.
Blast from the Past,
where he stays underground for 30 years, and then when he comes out of the ground, he's so weird compared to everyone else, but he's literally just completely normal for that era. Blast from the Past, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a great movie, actually.
That's how Luke and I are. It's like everything that we are was just like normal people from the 90s. It reminds me of, I know it's weird, but people probably don't know, but in the movie with oh my gosh, Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones and some other people, the Field of Dreams.
You talk about Field of Dreams?
He says, he goes, oh my gosh, like he's doing things that are like that people from the 60s do. He's like he's listening to 60s music, he's reading 60s books, he's in his apartment or whatever, and he goes, oh my gosh, you're from the 60s, and he's like, back to the 60s with you. It's like certain people, it's like they get used to a certain way of being, and no matter if the world changes around you, you're not gonna change because you don't want to. You just don't want to. Like, why would you when everyone is acting crazy? Like, why would you trade the 90s for this? Like, the 90s were great. There's no reason to change it. Yeah, so I think also Luke and I'm just gonna speak for Luke. I don't know if he agrees with me, he can tell me. But for me and Luke, like, we both grew up pretty poor, and like, Luke having his dad try to work as a pastor, and my dad was a pastor for a while and then did maintenance. And
my dad didn't try to. My dad was a pastor.
Yeah, I meant trying to hold the bills together, being a pastor. That's what I meant. Your dad is a pastor, exactly.
Well, he's retired now, finally.
Well, anyways, both of us had pretty financial hardships growing up, and I don't know if Luke was, but I was bullied in school because of that.
I was bullied all the time, yeah.
And being bullied in school, you really feel isolated. You feel alone. You don't feel like one of the jock crowd, one of the in people. You don't feel like, oh yeah, everyone likes me and everything's great and I feel really secure in life and I feel like everyone, just wants to be a big party. You don't really feel like that growing up. You realize, man, people are evil. Like, they're so mean. Like, they're, bullying me, and most of the crowd of people is rude and cruel to me, and they're hateful to me, and they're taking my stuff and pushing me down. You don't trust people when you are bullied in school. And so I think when Luke and I were on the internet and everyone started changing around us, they're like, hey, Luke and Amber, we're all changing. We're ready for you guys to join the crowd and change too. That wasn't going to be working for me because, my best friend, Bonique, my best friend my whole life since kindergarten through 7th grade, she was bullied so much in school. She was very smart. She was in honors classes. She was bullied so much that even though she could have gotten a scholarship to college, it was so horrific for her that she actually had to drop out of school and she never went to college because the bullying was so bad. Her whole life was ruined because she literally was bullied so bad. And for me, seeing that happen to my friend and just how bad it was, I don't trust people. So when the whole crowd of internet YouTubers is like, hey guys, we're all doing this stuff and we're pushing all this stuff, and it's like, well, you're gonna have to convince me, otherwise I'm not joining you, because I don't join people easily, So I think that's a huge reason why Luke and I have all just done our own thing.
My problem with what the culture was the past 4 years too is, like, most of us in the 90s had this mentality, like, treat me the way that if you're good to me, I'll be good with you, basically. You treat people based on how they treat you. If somebody is a jerk, that person is a jerk, and obviously you don't want to deal with that person. But it came to this point, like, it doesn't matter how I treat you based on my outward appearance or based on whatever I identify with. You have to be nice to me, and you have to do everything I say. And 90s people we don't roll that way. It was all based on, if you're a jerk, doesn't matter what you are, you're a word I can't say.
You can't just say I'm this category, therefore you have to do whatever I say. It's like, right. I don't think so. You're like, even when I was younger, I remember being in this group of friends, and this one girl in the group was so mean to everyone, and I thought she was being especially mean to me, but I don't know, maybe I was in my mind. But I remember telling my dad whenever I went to go hang out with this group of friends, I was like, this one girl's so mean. She's so mean. I really hate going here. I don't want to go here. I have a horrible time. I just don't want to go to this group. And my dad just said to me, like, if you're not going to have a good time and they're not nice, why are you going with them? Mm-hmm. And literally that is how I feel like 90s people were. It's like, no matter what everyone's telling me to do, this is what everyone's doing. If you're not, if you're not feeling it, if they're being mean to you, if you feel uncomfortable, then why would you just follow everyone and do it? if it doesn't feel right to you.
Well, I mean, we literally lived by what Dr. King said. Like, it's all about, you judge people based on, like, if they have a good character or not. And a lot of these people who, came to power and they were doing all this stuff on YouTube and they were doing all this stuff in the media, they were, like, really jerky people. Like, they're not, like, good human beings. They're scum. So it's like most of us didn't want to associate with them because it's like, why would you want to?
like,
because they're not innately good people.
It's like somebody from 2020 something is like, hey, I identify as a tree, and now everyone has to be nice to me, and I'm gonna bully everyone to force them to be nice to me.
Exactly.
And then someone from the 2020s is like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Even though you're bullying me and I'm crying every day, I'm still gonna be nice to you because I feel like it's the right thing to do because that's what society tells me to. And then someone from the 90s says, you're making me cry every day. You said that it's important to tell you that you're a tree. However, you're making me cry every night, and that hurts my feelings. And therefore, I don't want to. I wouldn't
say the crying.
Maybe
thing.
not the
like
crying, but
90s kids had stronger.
It would be like
things with our emotions.
90s would be like you have to tell me I'm a tree if I tell you I am, and people from the 90s would be like, no, I don't. Make me. Like, why would I have to?
Exactly.
Like, who said I have to?
Yeah.
Hey, that was a 90s thing. Make me.
Yes, that's it. Exactly. Make me.
That was the thing we always did.
Yep.
People would always try to bully us and tell us to do something. And that was our main response. Make me.
Yeah.
Who's going to make me? You and what army?
Yeah.
Who's going to make me do that?
So then what happened is a lot of us, like, kind of kept our heads down, I guess you would say. Like, when everything got crazy the past 4 years and people were just too afraid to speak up. But now with everything shifting, more people are standing up for, like, decency and good and things like that again because they have nothing to fear anymore. These people can't take away your jobs. They can't do this. They can't that. They're losing, everything. And,
Right.
like, people are just like, we're kind of all coming out of, like, this very scary and what was, like, a very detrimental society. Or what people assumed society was. The thing is, outside of the internet, stuff hadn't really changed. It's just, it was perceived that everything changed.
Yeah, like they thought if they could change the internet, first the internet, then the world.
Yeah.
Like a super villain.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly, Champion Paul. Like people just did stuff out of fear. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley was saying, in my motto, younger was my grandmother drilled into me: treat me the way you want me to treat you.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Bingo bongo.
Sharon says, people bullied me and called me a boy sometimes because I had short hair. I'm so sorry that happened to you, Sharon. That was wrong. Exactly,
Okay,
Amber.
is
90s
nasty.
kids said, here, I was bullied throughout high school, and I said, yeah,
Nope.
freak them. Yeah, exactly. That was kind of our response. It was like, it's like the whole school could tell you, like, you need to do this. Everyone is telling you to. And you'd be like, no, I don't. I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. That was how it was in the 90s.
Well,
you
too,
don't have to
a
do
lot.
anything you don't want to do.
A lot of us too. What made our generation different is, like, the family wasn't around as much. So, 80s and 90s kids, for the most part, they kind of raised themselves. Like, we had our friends around and stuff, but our parents would have multiple jobs to work. So, most 90s kids would see their parents, like, when you got up to go to school, and, like, around 6 or 7 o'clock when they'd come home from work and have dinner, and then everybody would go to bed. You didn't have, like, your parents weren't around to tell you things all the time. They occasionally, maybe one of them would show up for, like, a parent-teacher conference, but they'd have to take off work, and they might be grumpy. But for the most part, in terms of cooking our own food, learning how the world operates and stuff like that, we had to figure that out all on our own. Like, it wasn't just kind of like, all right, just going to sit back and let, parents do this. And then when we became the age of parents, because of, like, what was done to us, is we spent more time with, like, our generation. We spent more time with the kids, and then it was kind of like, they didn't really have that kind of, like, lion cub thing where they're just kind of, like, not thrown to the wolves, but it's kind of like, I have to go do this, and you need to find ways of entertaining yourself. The parents became, like, too into the kids' lives, to the point where the kids, like, would pretty much get anything they wanted. Is what I've heard from a lot of people.
Yeah, it's like having to come home and figure out how to entertain yourself does kind of make you realize that everything isn't about you. People don't have to entertain you 24/7. You can figure it out. Yeah. I mean, even though my parents were there a lot of times they wouldn't just randomly come over and entertain me all the time. A lot of times they'd be like, dinner's at 6, you can go play outside, figure it out, and then come back later. You had to figure it out, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
some people are horrified by like when people would come home from school, the parents would be like, "Don't come home until the lights in the lights are on, the street lights. Once the
Yeah.
street lights would come on, then the kids would be
Well-
like, "Okay, it's time to go home and eat dinner." You know,
Yeah.
that's when we would be allowed to come home
No.
and hang out and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely Champion Paul says people don't help because they feared them, and they beat us up. I was beaten up because I protested things, says Champion Paul.
Oh,
And
there
no,
he is.
I was bullied because I had facial hair. It grew too early, and oh wow, Champion Paul, I'm so sorry to hear that. I know what you mean, Champion Paul. I wasn't beat up in school, but and I don't really talk about this a lot, but I did stand up for people in my life, and I was beat up because I stood up for people. It wasn't in school, but it was another place. And no one helped me in that situation. No one helped me.
How do you spell his name?
And it was horrific. It is horrific. When you stand up for people, you stick your neck out, you get hurt or beat up, and then people do not help you when you're desperate. I have had that happen to me. It was one of the worst things that ever happened to me. Sorry that happened to you, Champion Paul. I'm sorry you had to go through that, but you're a better person that you were brave enough to stand up for people. What did you want me to say?
How do you spell
Saruman. Saruman. Saruman is
Saruman?
Yep, it's Saruman.
Okay.
Yep, I was a latchkey kid. So were my siblings. My mom was gone before we went to school. Didn't come home till 5 or 6. She was a single mom. We had to teach ourselves to become responsible. Definitely, Ashley.
Yep. That was very normal. So then, like, when our generation mixed with the new ones, and they would say all this stuff like millennials do this, and Generation X is like this way. It's because we had to learn how to live life by ourselves, and like this generation that took over with the whole internet stuff, like over the past 4 years, they were people that basically had everything handed to them with a silver spoon. So they were never told no; they were just told yes.
Yeah, and what you were saying, Raspberry, where your dad told you to punch people and walk away if you were bullied, that's a huge thing I think people did teach in the 90s. And I remember when they started doing, like, if people got into a fight, if you got beat up in school and you punched back and you fought back, you defended yourself, even if they punched you like 20 times and you just punched them one time to defend yourself, they would send both people would either get suspended or detention. But I remember lots of parents would say that they felt even if their kid got suspension from it, they still felt it was right for them to be able to defend themselves.
Oh.
Like they wouldn't be mad.
Okay. We gotta push shorts.
So yeah, it is hard because I never ever got into a physical fight myself, but I have gotten hurt in that way, but I don't usually talk about it very much.
Okay, so we have another silver brick that we need to grab. Guys, we need to push shorts.
Both my parents worked, so my sisters and I were raised by our grandmother basically, and we were raised by TV and video games, but our grandmother raised us basically. Yep. And says Miss Deanna, yep, was bullied or picked on in high school, and it wasn't until I got someone who knew my bully outside of school, away from his friends, who told him to back off, he actually stopped. Yeah, and I understand how that is, Champion Paul. I got treated different in school for how I looked as well. But I know how you feel. I know what you mean.
We gotta move on because we have to push shorts.
All right,
We have to push shorts real bad. So my theory is correct. Only the first hour of live streaming really helps with views. Like afterwards, it's like everything just starts. That's why you have a hard time trying to keep the views up like during the day, is because it only works. It used to work for 2 hours at a time. Like one live stream would last for about 2 hours afterwards to kind of keep things like patched. Now it's like it seems like it only works for like maybe about an hour and 20 minutes, and then after that, because this live stream is doing considerably well, mostly.
Yeah.
But it's not contributing to where the hourly is. So the hourly is almost at 900 or less. So we gotta push the shorts.
All right, we'll push the shorts, Loki. Well, thank you guys, and yeah, exactly. Like I think.
No, there's no more time for
Yeah,
discussion.
well,
We have to do
I know
this
we'll
now.
push the shorts. I know, honey. What short do you want me to push?
I'm looking on my timeline. I'm sleeping here, punk.
Okay, I'll push that one then.
Yep. So how this works, guys, is we have to push shorts. We're going to try to get 30 views on each of the shorts that we're going to be doing, and that'll keep things stable until Iron Man. But we're all going to have to come together and, you know, do this.
Yeah, I agree with what. Yeah, that's crazy. Actually,
So,
that they've changed that.
The short that's in the chat, if you guys could click that, we're looking for like 20 to 30 views. Remember, you can watch the short multiple times. And it really helps the channel out tremendously. Well, I mean, it helps the channel stay around, because I mean things are not good. And there's no way to fly, and there's no way to see where anything is. Oh gosh, I wish I hadn't done that. Oh, okay. So then where's the brick? Is there a brick on the side? They're saying that there's a brick located somewhere, but where is it? See, it's hard to see. Like, we're on Saruman's tower. And it's really hard to get a gauge like where everything is, because I mean everything looks freaky.
Well,
Oops.
we will definitely keep all of you guys in our thoughts and prayers, and we're very proud of you guys. And Ashley says I'm raising my kids like '90s kids, more self-reliant.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely
Because
than
I
this
mean it's
generation.
good for them, but I think, you know, it should be like a happy balance. Like, you know, you carve out time to spend with your kids, but also at the same time you teach them responsibility, as well as, like, I think the most important thing for this next generation of kids to teach is the word no. You
Yeah.
can't do this, as well as, like, you know, praising them for when they do something that is actually really good.
Yeah,
Like,
but I do think the self-reliant thing is good, because I've noticed even in the early 2000s, when I used to play games with people online and people would play games with me, they would be like, I forgot what they said. They were like angry. They were like, well, after I play this stream with you, I won't have anything to do in my room for 2 hours. It's like, I just was like, I remember I've told like people before, like, you know, like I've had whole days where I didn't have anything to do, or weeks where I'd have to figure out stuff to do. I mean, just walked to the library or walked outside. You know, it's just like you can't expect people to fill your time. Like, you have to figure out what to do. It is important to be self-reliant. You can't be like, you know, like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? You know, I need have someone to help. You don't need anyone to help you. You can figure it out your own. You're
why
very
is
capable.
this randomly there? What
Yeah,
was the
exactly.
point of that? There's no point of that there. Yeah, so, guys, we need you to click the short. And we're going to try to push some other stuff, because, I mean, we're in trouble, Amber. We're almost at, like, 49,000 like,
Alright.
average for 48 hours. Like, it's bad. It's
I
real
know,
bad.
Luke. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm sorry.
I know. But it was a good topic while it lasted.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
As usual, I always make everything longer.
Well, I mean,
I appreciate you guys very much.
You're very opinionated, which is fine.
Well, I also try to read what people are saying, because I care about what people are saying. I didn't even get to read everyone's.
Shoot.
So if I missed anything that was important that you guys were trying to tell me, feel free to let me know in the comments. And I appreciate you guys a lot.
So far, you guys have watched the short that we're pushing in the chat. About 5 people have clicked on it. We need like 30 people to click on that, and then we can go through the next one. What I'm trying to do right now is there's a silver brick that's up here on Saruman's tower. It's actually kind of hard to get, but it's the last of the silver bricks here. And then from there, then we're going to go to the Village of the Dead, or the City of the Dead, replay that level, and that should put us in a pretty good position for, like, getting near. Then there'll only be like 2 streams left, I think, where we do the remaining Hobbit levels free play, and the battle, the 2 big battles, the one on the field in Return of the King, and then at the end the Black Gate would be the last, like, 2 big major battles. something like that. And we're trying to do it the way that they did it in the movie a little bit.
Yeah.
I need a hobbit that can weary Sam.
Well, I know you're a great parent, Ashley. When I actually get to be a parent someday, I don't think I'll be half the parent that anyone in the chat is. You guys are doing amazing.
All you can do
I'll have to ask for tips from you, Ashley.
All you can do is do your best, you know, and provide for your kids and try to spend time with them, but also try to give them time to themselves so that they can learn.
Well, I mean, I think one thing I was always told when I thought I was gonna, have kids early on in life is that the most important thing you can do is love your kids. That's the main thing. Everything else is secondary to that. How you raise them, what foods you make them, what rules you have. If you love your kids, then you're already an amazing parent. You're already winning. You're already doing it right.
Winning.
You can't, just try, like, with our cat. I mean, I only have cats, but it's like just having a place for my cats to live, loving them, and doing the best I can. That's being a good cat parent. So I think that's what being a good human parent is. Giving them a place to live, loving them, and doing the best you can to take care of them. That's all you can do.
So my question is, how in the world are you supposed to get over there to grab that? Like, that is, it's a very hard place to reach. In fact, I don't see a way that you could actually reach that.
Oh, you're fine, Champion Paul. I grew up in a pretty rough neighborhood, and there were things written on the back of the bus that I was trying to sound out that I didn't know was inappropriate. So yeah, I mean, it's not if you're if you're younger and you don't know what you're saying. I mean, it's not like you're of course you don't mean to. It's like it takes a while to realize there's all kinds of weird stuff
in the world. We might come back here, guys, because I've already wasted so much time. I would like to go do something else. Like, I just can't seem to get this, and I don't understand why they didn't include any flyers at all. Like, that to me, it just seems like it's such a poor choice, because there was so many flyers in previous Lego games. Even in the Harry Potter games had flyers, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the link deterrent seems to be working for Zelda when she has the blanket over her. It works a little bit.
Oh, the link deterrent? Yeah, it does. It does seem to work to some extent.
I have it on right now. She's under there right now. She's under that little link deterrent right now, and it seems to be working. Yeah, she's up there.
No, she's not. She's over there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's right there.
I thought she was under it. I thought I saw this weird thing under there.
No. Nope. Alright, so free play. Path of the Dead. Alright, so how many people clicked on this? What was the short we're pushing again, Amber? What was the name?
Something about Link sleeping.
Okay, I'm Sleeping Here Punk. It went from... So you guys got 39. Great job. We're going to do the next one. Next one is going to be... is there another cat one we can do? Where did he go? Yeah, we'll do another cat one, because people like cats. And then we'll finish off with some Injustice later. So this is another Link one. Good job, guys. You got 40 views on the short. This is the next one we're going to push.
You remember a lot of our old videos, Raspberry. That's pretty neat. Relaxovision and all that. Yep, definitely.
Well, a lot of that stuff we borrowed from things that was in our childhood, like Freakazoid was Relaxovision. And so, like, most of my jokes and slang all originate from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. I haven't really changed as a person. So, my slang and stuff and puns are all, which was very common in the 80s and 90s. Because that's the type of media that we grew up with.
I don't know if we're gonna do. We're just doing the side stuff right now. I think we're doing a little bit of both. We're doing the main story and other things. Hi Alpha, how's it going? Hi Game Wing, hi everyone.
All right, guys and gals, we need to click on the short link that's in the chat now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Can't have the cutscenes because the cutscenes have the music. As soon as the music plays now, the content ID system is terrible. There was actually a law that stated you could use up to 15 or 30 seconds of a song before it'd be considered copyright because it was like under parody or something like that.
Yeah.
And nowadays, like if you just play like even 5 seconds of a song, your entire video gets claimed. So the Fortnite stream that we did, they claimed it originally because there was like 2 or 3 lines from some type of Japanese or like Asian artist that was in that trailer. So they claimed the entire video. So I actually had to go and I had to cut that out so we would earn, you know, even a sliver of monetization, which is terrifying.
Thanks for helping out with the short. Zach says, let's go crazy and help out with a short. Appreciate that, everyone.
Yep. And then we'll push the next short and then the next, and that's how we gotta survive.
Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of you guys talking about, like, oh, yeah, things are very difficult right now and the world seems to be getting worse. Well, the best thing is that you guys are awesome, and, you know, a lot of you guys have grown up in seeing this generation go crazy. And then when you guys become parents, and, well, like, Ashley already is, and there's several parents in the chat. So it's like when you guys have, you know, you become parents and you guys are on, you know, you guys are in charge. Who knows? Some of you guys might be work for Google or be in charge of stuff on the computer. You guys can remember all this and be like, you know what? I don't think we are gonna push all this stuff. I think we're gonna let people just, you know.
I mean, the same thing happened in the '80s though, is people saw, you know, what the hippie movement was doing, like how like very like kind of like the cancel culture of its day. You know, they didn't like what was going on and they rebelled, so they were known as the protest generation. So the '80s kids saw that and they're like, you know, I don't want to do what my parents was because the hippies thing, it wasn't really good for our country and all this other stuff. So,
yeah,
you know,
we're fun out of life,
right.
And the
so that's part of the reason, because of the hippie generation. That's why the '80s was such an explosion of creativity and fun and stuff like that, is because you had a whole, like, couple generations of people that grew up seeing that kind of stuff, and they're like, no, I don't want to do that kind of stuff.
They didn't want to sit outside with a folk guitar and talk about trees. They wanted to be normal people.
Yeah. So the same thing is happening now, like with the woke movement. You have all these people who are coming up who are younger, who, you know, you think are, oh no, they're just as bad as like all these other people, but that's not true, because these people are seeing what's going on with this movement and they're rejecting it because that's not what they want to do.
It doesn't make life more fun. It makes life more stressful. Everyone's afraid. Everyone's, you know, accused of things. And
well, the thing is, any generation can change. Like, you don't have to follow the generation that came before you. You can make it better or you can make it worse. And there have been some generations that have taken what we did, the trailblazing that our generation did, and they made it worse. But at the same time, the kids of the original trailblazers, they're coming to an age now where they're going to be getting into power, and I hope they won't make the same mistakes. And I feel like, because we were in what kind of felt like the 70s era again, like the protest era coming back, that means like soon, probably like 4 years from now, the 80s, like the spark of creativity and fun and, you know, artistic expression and music and all this other stuff, that's going to make a comeback too, because all the stuff that's happening that people are witnessing, they're going to want to make something good again.
Yeah.
Because that's just how our society works.
I think making the world a better place starts with each individual making very small changes that can help people. Like, for instance, I was just thinking about something that we did that actually already changed the world in a way. Not the world, but just our lives and our family. Is that, you know, my brother was so nervous he scratched a plate when he was here. And I showed him that, like, literally the plates we get are, like, literally the cheapest plates from Walmart. And I said, the reason why Luke and I do that is because people would always get upset with us if we would damage a plate. And people would always get these fancy plates for holidays. And Luke and I made a change. We didn't want to buy fancy plates, because if you break one, then
The whole set's ruined.
Then the set's ruined. Everyone gets stressed out. They're like, do you know how much that was? So Luke and I have made it a thing where we don't really buy expensive stuff at all. Like, we don't really, as long as it looks good enough, we just go with it. It's like good enough and it looks fine. Like, why would we need to buy more expensive stuff if it looks fine? So I feel like I already changed the world a little bit, because I changed it. My brother's, you know, sighed a sigh of relief and was like, oh, actually that makes me feel better. And it's like, see, small changes like that, you know, instead of me buying expensive plates and then bringing people over and getting mad at them if they drop it, I've actually already made a change where it's like, I'm not getting expensive plates. I don't mind if you guys get it, it doesn't matter. But for me, I feel like I've changed the timeline now, you know. In the future, when I have people over, there won't be any yelling when a plate drops. There won't be anyone angry because my plates are from Walmart. It doesn't matter. They're like $1 each. I can easily go and get another one.
Alright, so where did he go? Has 28 views on it so far. Good job, guys. Let's keep pushing a little bit, and then we'll go with the next one. This is barely working, but it's mostly working, so I mean, it's good enough.
So I mean, in that same way, you guys can remember what it feels like to be in an uncomfortable society and gaming environment, and then you guys, if you ever have the chance, as a developer, as a Google employee, as, you know, head of the school board, anything, you can put your input and be like, hey, no, I don't want to villainize gamers on the school board. I'm just gonna let you guys know I liked gaming growing up, and I think it helped kids, and I don't want to villainize gamers. You guys can have a say in things, and it can change your little corner of the world, and I think...
As it was said to us, we are the masters of our own destiny. Don't let somebody tell you you can't do something. Like, you know, if you've got the tools and you've got the talent, you just push yourself and you can achieve anything. The only thing that's going to hold you back is your own, like, you know, kind of fears and worries. Like, and even if something doesn't happen right away, you should keep pushing for it until it happens. Like, you shouldn't give up. Like, people want you to give up nowadays and find other ways to blame things. You know, life wasn't easy for us, but Amber and I kept, like, basically trailblazing and doing things that weren't, like, I wouldn't say socially acceptable. That's not the word I'm looking for. It was not a career path that most people thought was possible, as well as they didn't want to do it because they didn't want to put in the work for it. They were like, why can't you just get, like, a normal job? Why can't you do, like, Walmart stuff? Or why can't you, like, you know, have all this, like, expensive college debt and go do, like, you like art, why don't you become, like, a computer person or something like that? They would see what we were doing on the internet, and they're like, well, that's not going to last. And then, you know, all these years later, yeah, we're having problems now, but we managed to make it last for over 15 years. That's a pretty interesting, you know, YouTube story. Is like, we're not a channel that has millions of subscribers and things like that, and we're considered, like, low on the totem pole, but yet we managed to survive, and for the longest time, for 10 years, we were very successful. It's only been, like, the past 5 years that, you know, life started to kind of push back and try to push us down a mountain without any brakes on our sled or something, you know. It's a terrifying ride, but at the same time, you know, Amber has this mentality that, you know, things are going to improve someday. I'm kind of a pessimist, and, you know, I see everything falling around apart around me, and it's like, how can I fix this, or how can I keep this Band-Aid going? And it's like, Amber has, like, a different mindset than I do, which is fine. But it's a hard situation.
I think even putting an effort in trying, like, to do something, like, even if you make a statement, even if you say something, like, say they're gonna villainize gamers in your school district or something, and you make a statement, you say, hey, you know, I think gaming can help kids make relationships, and I think it can do some positive things. Say they vote against you anyway, you know, you still did something great, because you tried, you put an effort in to do something. I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, people said that's good advice, what you were just giving. So yeah, I think it always feels better to try to do the right thing, even if it doesn't work out. I think it always feels better knowing that you tried I think it always makes me feel better.
Alright, so we're gonna play
Okay,
this one.
alright, Gamewing, we'll keep you in our thoughts and prayers, buddy. I'm sorry you're not feeling well.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's the next short. If you guys could click that, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, so today we unlocked Sally in Dreamlight Valley Loop.
I know, you told me that.
Hi, Simon. Hi, everyone. Hope you guys and gals are doing well. Please, people kept saying you're wasting time playing video games. You should study hard to become better, says Champion Paul. Yeah, and now Champion Paul is starting with his partnership with YouTube, which is great, Champion Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and even if, like, I think gaming is great, even if you're not doing it for a job, even if it's not even for a job, it's just for fun. Because, like, for something I learned, that was one of the reasons why I started gaming, was even before the channel, Luke used to play games with me just because we were married and because I was always stressed out for my job, from family stuff, from life. And Luke would be like, why don't you take 20 minutes and play this game and then you'll feel better? And I was like, why? All my problems will still be here after I'm done playing this game. And Luke was like, because it will take your mind off of your problems. And it will help you, like, not think about them. And it did. It helped me a lot. So that was one of the reasons why Luke actually got me into gaming, was because it helped me not stress about things. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of positive things. You know, I didn't used to play a lot of games, and it really did help me a lot to do that. And also, games don't just help you with stress. They also help you with puzzle solving. One of the things that I noticed that was different between me and Luke before I started gaming a lot was, say he auditioned for something, or he tried out for a job or something, and he didn't get in. For me, I would just be devastated. I'd be like, wow, this is a sign. I guess I really wanted this dream, but now it's never going to happen because I tried out and I didn't get it. I guess this isn't for me. I'm just going to go in another direction. Whereas Luke doesn't have that mentality at all. Him being a gamer, when something doesn't succeed, he keeps going at it. He tries again. He gets up and he does it again, because as a gamer, he is used to trying several times and grinding and going back and doing it again and keep going until he gets it. And I was so surprised that he had this mentality, because I was like, this isn't how I act at all. When I don't get something, I completely change my whole outlook on life and I try doing something else because I'm devastated. But Luke doesn't act like that because of him being a gamer for so many years. It changes his outlook on life. He actually, when he doesn't get something he wants, he just goes back and starts working for it more and tries it again. And because that's what gamers do. That's a gaming mentality, is you don't get it, and so you just try it again. And so it actually has changed my life. Gaming has actually changed my life to the point where I have become somebody that when life doesn't work out for me, I actually am able to get up and work harder and try it again. I don't give up as much because I've been gaming. It helps me not to give up. So I think that gaming actually is a really positive thing that people don't realize. It does teach you not to give up, and like, don't you think that? Don't you think that helps with that, Luke?
Yeah, I think. But at the same time, like, I am running into problems, like, now, because, like, everything that's going on in YouTube, like, before I figured out a method of how to survive and all this other stuff, and now the only way forward that I can see, based on how bad things are, is, like, just getting members and not even worrying about ad revenue and views anymore. But getting 500 people to become members is not an easy thing. Like, it's even, you know, terrifying to try to get 300 people, because before it was 300 people that were not gifted members, and now it's like we have like 70 members that are all gifted now. And it's like, before we had people that were not all gifted, and we were close to 400 with the gifted members. And it's just like me trying to figure out how to keep this thing going, because ad revenue, every year, like, YouTubers talk to each other like, man, ad revenue is so bad this year, it's nothing like last year. And it's before, like, when we first started, or not when we first started, when things started to go really well for us, every year, like the ladder or the staircase would increase. Like it would keep going up and up and up. And like when we found a way of making it work, like after the first ad apocalypse, what we did is we kept things consistent. It was the same income every month. It didn't grow, but it didn't diminish. And now that it continues to diminish every year, like it gets less and less, it's like basically how do we add this tourniquet to make it, you know, kind of stabilize, because it's not really stabilizing.
Yeah, definitely, Miss Deanna, so it was exactly Miss Amber. I did give up when I didn't pass the classes, some of the classes in college. I kept retaking them until I passed them. As an accounting major, when the pandemic happened, I didn't see it as a waste of the accounting degree because I know people need accountants everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I want to help people with their finances, help them be more financial literate. Awesome, Miss Deanna. And Champion Paul says, me too. I didn't give up. I kept going.
Are we sure Miss
And
Deanna's from New Jersey? Because not only is she really smart, but she's like, you know, a big go-getter and stuff like that.
there's a lot of go-getters in New Jersey.
I've known a lot of people from New Jersey. I don't know. Maybe...
A long time ago when you were in high school.
High school and college, yeah. I went to school with people from Jersey, and it's just Miss Deanna's like pretty cool. So it's like I don't have the same, after again meeting so many of these people like in our community that are from New Jersey. It's just it changes my perspective of things a little bit.
Champion Paul says, I didn't give up either, and now I'm actually making some money playing video games online. That's awesome, Champion Paul. That's really great. You know me, Mr. Luke, and I am from New Jersey. So
I know you are. I know. You got that Jersey vibe. I know.
Luke should go back and try rope on the barrel, says Sharon. We got a super chat from Wally West, Mr. Wally West. Luke,
yo,
I would like to see Ubisoft make future Batman Arkham style games with a fully functioning Gotham and going to Wayne Manor Batcave.
I don't think Ubisoft's gonna be around much longer, Walls. Like I don't see that happening.
Lost one of their best developers.
The company to watch, my friends, is the company that Ubisoft former members have just founded. Like they're the ones that their mission statement is they want to make games that are artistically beautiful, with fun characters and engaging stories and thought-provoking stories. They want to, you know, these are people that worked on like Mario Rabbids, people who worked on the original Assassin's Creed games like 1 through 5. These are people that worked on Splinter Cell. These are people that worked on the Rayman, like, Origins and Legends, like, you know, games where Rayman came back for a new generation. And these guys have started their own indie developers, so we'll see their first games, probably in a couple years. So that'll be the new Ubisoft. The old Ubisoft, if they don't change their ways by 2025, they're in danger of going bankrupt.
Hi, Five Bros Stop Mo's. People, it's nice to see people playing this game. Me and my brother 100%ed this game last night. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Congratulations.
That's dedication.
I know that you will get 500 members one day, says Captain Zach.
Thank you, Captain Zach.
I hope so. Thank you, Captain Zach.
We're trying. Legolas, stop being scared.
I know some people from New Jersey. It's a cool place. I know several people from there, says James Graves. Whenever there's a light spot, Luke needs to dig there. Okay, thank you, Sharon. When are the Game Awards? I don't even know.
December 12th. Game Awards are on December 12th. Why is there like some type of flower?
Not everyone from New Jersey has a extremely thick Jersey accent. Some people just have an East Coast fast way of talking if they're from New Jersey.
Does anybody know what's going on with this whole flower thing? It wants a flower, but I don't know what that means. Unless that flower is something they want me to dig here. That's Sam, right? Yeah, that's Sam. We're gonna keep him out, and we're gonna replace him with Mr. Samwise. Although technically anybody could have a shovel. Like we could give. Watch, we have a mithril thing now, so we could even give Gimli a shovel.
DEW said that would be an awesome Batman game that Wally was talking about. Where yeah, if they made an Assassin's Creed style Batman game, that would be cool.
Well,
or,
I always thought that's what Arkham was.
Yeah, we always thought that's what they were gonna do. Yeah, I mean there are a lot of different types of. There's like the Jersey Shore. And then there's like, you know, Jersey accent. And then there's a very thick Harley Quinn Jersey accent. But then Luke and I have driven through New Jersey a lot. A lot of times people sound the same as from New York or Massachusetts. Like it's an East Coast accent. Like just a quick way of talking business-like.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't always, not everyone has like that certain accent that people think of.
Yep.
Luke should look for the last dig spot. Okay, we're doing the best we can. Thanks, Yep, I do think Jersey accents are cute. Definitely Miss Deanna. I think that, yep. Especially, like, ladies with a Jersey accent, I think are very cute. I wish I had a Jersey accent, actually. I think that would be so cute. But Luke, I don't know. I used to be very intimidated knowing Luke was from New York because I thought, well, I could never measure up to, like, girls from New York or something. But now, after being married many years, I realize Luke just likes me for me. Even if I don't have as cute an accent as people from New York or New Jersey, Luke likes me for my heart, so it doesn't matter.
What happened to that flower? Don't tell me Aragorn was the only one who had the... Oh, okay. I see how that works now, so I have to take the flower out.
I'm back from watching a few shorts. Thank you, David the Ruby Saiyan. Appreciate that. Thank you for your help. What did you guys purchase for the PS5 30th anniversary? I didn't purchase anything.
We didn't purchase anything for it.
Did anyone else?
What were we supposed to do?
I think maybe there was a sale. I don't know.
Oh.
Did anyone... Oh, you bought a few? Awesome, Champion Paul. That's great. Did anyone purchase anything for PS5's 30th anniversary?
I think the game's glitched. I have this purple flower, but I can't put it in there. So I don't know even what that is. Oh well. Just move on.
I just see New Jersey, New York, and... What is it? New Jersey, New York, and Massachusetts are the tri-state area. Massachusetts has the thickest accent.
Yeah.
You would think that it would be New York or New Jersey, but if you have been in Massachusetts for a long time, you realize they have a very distinct accent.
Mm-hmm.
It is very distinct. I never picked it up, but I did start talking faster since I lived there.
Yep.
And now I'm talking slower since I moved back to Pennsylvania.
No, you still talk fast. You do. That's not a problem.
And you can't really, once you go to the East Coast and start talking faster, and then you try to move back to the Midwest or something, then I don't think you can really go back to talking slow again, because at that point it's already done. You've changed forever. And then everyone in the Midwest sounds like they're going in slow motion from then on.
I think this is what we're supposed to do now. And we plant this flower.
Oh, and your Ghost of Tsushima is 1,000 views.
No, I know that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're at 49,000. I haven't seen it drop this low since the pandemic. That's crazy. Well, hopefully Marvel Rivals will really help.
Hope so. Your video did help a lot.
I'm gonna have to make another video I don't even know what I'm gonna make tomorrow though. This video got 600, almost 700 views. I mean, that's not bad, but still. I mean, maybe I need to. I have another thumbnail. I have a thumbnail that says like something about healing gaming or something. I'm not really the most important thing that I would tell people about like making YouTube videos is Nowadays, you have to do clickbait, and you have to have like titles that make people enticed to click on them. The problem is, I'm not creative enough to come up with a lot of these titles. I don't know. It's hard. And then I put the flowers there, and then it gives me that. Alright, cool.
I think that YouTube used to be more about authenticity. Like, people were like, oh, wow, you're playing this game? Cool, I'll sit and watch you play for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, people were just normal. People just watch somebody that seemed like them playing something. Now it's like people want... I feel like YouTube has become not YouTube anymore. It's become corporate tube, where
Yeah.
it's like you don't want to watch someone who's like you. You have to watch someone who's, quote, better than you. But in reality, no one is really better than you. Like, it's like hero worship so much online now. Where people...
Yeah, I always found that funny. So, when YouTube first started, you had average Joes that were making content, and they were getting millions of subscribers, and, you know, they were just normal, everyday people talking, kind of like vlogging about their life. And then you had these people like Jake Paul and all these other people who came from, like, wealth, I believe. And now the type of stuff that people watch is essentially what is on TV, where it shows, like, wealthy celebrities, like, showing off their houses.
Showing
and,
off all the stuff they have that no one could ever in
right.
a million years have anything close to that.
It changed dramatically from, like, this is a thing where people get to see what your life is like, to basically, in just, like, 10 years, we've shifted to... You know, normal average people aren't cool anymore. If you're really cool, then you watch somebody who has a lot of money and a lot of, like, stuff and things like that. It
used to be like, oh, I want to watch this person because I can relate to them. They seem like me. And that's cool because this person is similar to me. Like, they like the same thing. They also hung out and had Cheetos and, you know, like Kool-Aid with their, you know, cousin and played this game. It was like relatable things made people watch it.
Yeah.
Now it's like it's not really, nothing is relatable on YouTube. It's all completely unrelatable. Like,
I mean, you guys who probably aren't as old as me, but basically what stuff is like right now is I never got into watching things like Jersey Shore or like MTV Cribs because it was like my life didn't look like that. So I related to shows like Everybody Loves Raymond or Seinfeld, or, you know, just very, like, down-to-earth stuff. And YouTube, for the longest time, was like that. And now it's like, people ask me, do you even watch YouTube? It's like, not really, because most of the stuff that YouTube is pushing into my feed is all this wealthy people. And these wealthy people acting like they have, like... they have all these supposed problems, and their problems are basically, for me, I view them as first world problems, because they weren't able to get the car that they wanted, or they spent all this extravagant money to hold this type of prank. I see, when I see somebody blowing like millions of dollars on a prank and not getting their investment back, I don't see that as like that was a good video to watch. I kind of like... as an adult, I'm like,
It is odd, like, that I sometimes, like, see, like, you know, like, especially, like, well, for me, for being a girl, it's like couples channels are pushed into my feed all the time.
Couples channels are always, like, pulling nasty pranks on each other.
And these couples channels, a lot of the times, you can tell these people have huge amounts of money. Like, there's no, like, they try to be relatable, but in reality, look at their crib,
kitchen.
Look at their car, look at their house, look at everything, their clothes, look at the baby thing that they have, the baby carriage. Everything is like so much more money than what normal people would have.
Right.
It doesn't look like what normal people would have. And then they have these problems like, oh yeah, we were gonna go to Greece and then Rome this summer, but we didn't have enough money because, you know, we had to do a new steps on our new house that's one of our houses. And it's like, and then people in the chat will be like, comments are like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you guys weren't able to go to Greece. I hope you guys get to go next year. When you know these people in the comments are not going to Greece themselves, how could you literally feel bad for somebody when they're complaining about not going to Greece. They're just going to go to Rome this summer. I can't go to Greece. I'm only going to go to Rome because I have to redo the steps on one of my houses. Really? You're to the point where you're going to complain about that? You have actually gotten to the point where not only you felt like complaining, but you made a video and you recorded and then you decided to upload it after that. You're complaining when some people are living in their car? When there's some people that literally, most people are lucky if they have one house? Are you absolutely kidding me at this point? Like, and I'm not so mad at the celebrity YouTubers, but I'm more mad at the people commenting. They're like, oh, did you hear, Jake Paul only got to buy one golden thing this year. It's like, no. And if I did hear that, I would not care how many golden things he bought. Literally, why are you telling me this?
I'm not saying like,
I'm not mad at them.
Rich people in general like don't have problems and stuff like that. I think everybody on YouTube should be allowed to express themselves. What I'm saying is there was like this huge shift from like these people who basically, were kind of like UHF channels from like the 80s and 90s where people would have their own kind of like television broadcast show that would happen like really late at night on like public access or whatever. And they would talk about their lives or they're just, something that interests them to show who they are. As like their personalities and stuff like that would shine through. And basically what happened is they shifted from, hey, this is me, this is my life, this is what I'm dealing with, I'm just talking to you guys, and
right.
Kind of not necessarily acting like a friend, but just like showing people like your human side. And then it shifted to basically like literally MTV Cribs, where he had all these celebrities. Like one celebrity I can remember when I was a kid was Flavor Flav. And Flavor Flav was like very extravagant. Flavor Flav, he had this giant clock made out of gold on his chest, and he'd have like so much jewelry all over himself that if the man was in a pool, he would sink to the bottom. And they were all extravagant and stuff like that, and very, very loud. Yeah. And then YouTubers went from people that were just sitting in front of a camera like, hey, what's up? And then it was like, yo, what's up, boys? Welcome to blah, 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 yo. It was just like, and I'm watching this change because we've been on the platform so long. So we're watching basically YouTube become.
Yeah, YouTube became Flavor Flav.
It became Flavor Flav, and it became MTV Cribs.
Everybody became Flavor Flav.
And the only people that succeed now are people that basically act and behave like that.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, if you have 10 houses and you're totally entitled to do a YouTube vlog and talk about your life, but like, should the emphasis be on like, oh, I have 10 houses and one of them, has a leak in it, so I won't be able to go to France and, Zimbabwe and Antarctica this
My
year.
jet has a
why would
terrible
you then,
seating.
Like, if most of your audience is not able to do those things, why would you then pretend as though that is a huge problem that they could relate to? Like, if you are this wealthy, like, maybe make, like, I don't care. Like, there's no problem with being wealthy. Like, it's great for you. Like, that's fine, but maybe don't make the emphasis on making people feel bad that you lost a little bit of money when literally you have so much more than they do. That's what I have a problem with. Like, maybe make the emphasis on, hey, I'm going to Mount Everest, or I'm going to school, or I'm learning a new skill. Make it something everyone can relate to.
Well, I used to like.
That's what
there were travel vlogs that I used to enjoy watching, where these people would, they go on vacation and they take people with them. And like, they really love to travel and stuff like that, and you could get that from watching them.
Right.
It was kind of interesting to see that. And then like those channels, unfortunately, because of like Kappa and some other things, they went the way of the dodo, and then they were replaced with basically like these commercials. Like, do you remember the Wayne's World movie where they're like at one point, like, he's like, I will not bow down to corporate sponsorships, and then, by the way, this video is brought to you by Pepsi. He shows himself drinking Pepsi. He says, I draw the line at commercialism. He grabs some Pizza Hut, he smiles, and he starts eating the pizza. That's what we become, though. Like, with the YouTube entertainment thing, we are literally like Wayne's World.
Yeah, everything is a commercial.
But Wayne's World with, like, basically corporate sponsorships. And the channels that do well are the ones that have like all this sponsorship, like all this money coming in from other sources.
Yeah, like, yeah, it's like people are allowed to do what they want. Like, that's fine, but it's just, I guess I get annoyed that people live through these people that. Are you okay? What's the matter?
He just scratched me.
Who did? Oh, the cat.
He stretched.
I think you shouldn't live through people that literally, and you can do whatever you want. Like, if you want to live a fantasy life, if you want to watch Fabio's vlogs where he's in Italy with all these women,
I would watch Fabio.
And you
vlogs.
want to live through him, and he's like, oh, one of my 10 girlfriends didn't call me today, and you're like, oh, so sorry, Fabio, and start chatting to him. It's like, okay, if you want to live through Fabio and pretend you relate to him, all right, fine, whatever you want to do. But I'm just saying, like, at some point, you're going to have to hit reality and be like, you know what? You're you, and Fabio is Fabio. You are miles apart in your life. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but, like, the reality of he has a different life than the person watching from the other side of the screen. Like,
could we petition for Fabio to do, like, a travel channel? I would watch. Like,
I wouldn't I would.
Especially if he like made fun of himself, like what people perceive him, and everywhere he goes, his hair's like blowing in the wind, but like you see somebody like with a fan or something like that. That's what I miss. Is like people used to, even like really big celebrities used to make fun of themselves to like make themselves look more relatable.
Yeah.
And I always enjoyed celebrities like that didn't take themselves so seriously. And then everybody just like took themselves so seriously. So I come from more like the comedic approach of life. Is I like to joke. I like puns. I like, you know, looking at levity and stuff like that and making fun of everything.
Yeah.
Because that's just the type of like stuff that I surrounded myself with. Like some of my favorite shows like growing up as a teenager were things like Freakazoid and The Tick and stuff like that, were basically shows that made fun of society and like some of the, you know, the craziness of stuff. It was just stupid fun. It wasn't supposed to mean anything, you know.
Right.
I have no idea how to get over here. I think I need to break something, but I'm not sure.
We got another super chat.
That's very kind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Remnant Star says, to quote you, Kwing, about what is going on in YouTube. Eventually the pendulum is going to swing back the other way, says Remnant Star.
I hope so, but I mean, even YouTube, like when we get the YouTube newsletter, like they're pushing for people to be very like similar to be like the next Jake Paul, and when they give us, because we all get newsletters as YouTube partners. So Link. So basically, one of these newsletters, they were talking about, hey, the trending topic this week is talking about your fancy car, and like everybody's like posting videos of like their like $100,000 or like $500,000 car, and it's just like when you see more of that stuff happening, you're just kind of like, you know, well, why aren't people talking about their favorite game, or why, you know, YouTube. And the problem is, YouTube won't be able to sustain themselves if they keep doing this kind of stuff.
Even if I did have a $500,000 car, I would hope that I wouldn't... Lenny, you need to get that cat away from you.
Buddy, stop.
I would hope that that wouldn't be something I would be, like, shoving in people's faces, being like, look at what I have. I just don't think that that's a good way to act, like, all the time. I mean, if your channel's about cars... Sure, go for it. Like, if you're Jay Leno and you're showing your cars off, okay, fine. But I'm just saying, like, just randomly showing people, like, look at all the stuff I have. I don't think...
Look at this stuff, isn't it neat?
You know, like, if it is about that, if your channel's about cars, then go for it. But
I can understand if it's a house tour and you're like, hey, this is my collection.
Or you do it once, but, like, if you're just randomly showing people, like, every... It depends on how often you do it. Like, if it's every new thing you buy, hey, guys, I'm going on another shopping spree just like yesterday... Like, maybe if it's once in a while, but if it's all the time, it does get annoying. It's, like, annoying. It's like, come on, please. We get it. You're flaunting, you know. What do they call it? You are... What do they used to call it online? Well, even when YouTube first started, they had a thing that they called it. It was called flexing.
Yeah, that was the term, yeah.
But what people did it subtly. In the 2000s, you flexed subtly. It was like you get a pair of Bose headphones. And you happen to have them.
Oh,
And you
define fancy car, Lambo, Corvettes. Like literally in the newsletter, I think it was like over the summer, like YouTube was like having people stand in front of like their red sports cars and things like that. And it's like I was thinking it'd be funny to do a parody where I sent in, you know, my Jeep and me standing out there with my cane looking all regal, but I mean it's a Jeep. It's not like
Yeah.
a Lamborghini
sorry,
or like a.
Well, you should respond and be like, my wife likes to save money.
Oh no, I never respond to those newsletters. It's just
Like,
like when I see that type of trend and over like people just like talking about their problems or talking like a crafting channel doing this and that. It's like the focus is becoming less about YouTube and more about these are people that we can market to, like corporate to. Anyway, guys, do you know how to get out of the crypt? I don't know if this glitched or what's happening, but this door is not opening. I can't seem to open said door. Like, does anybody know what I'm supposed to be doing here?
There you go. Miss Tana says, I actually care more about cars with good mileage. So I don't really care about those fancy, like, sports cars.
Well, I mean, most of those electric cars that we see between Philadelphia and New York City, they're always pulled over to the side of the road, broken down. I prefer Jeeps because Jeeps are cars that, you know, are all-terrain. We live in mountain country, so a Jeep is ideal for, like, not breaking down, changing the altitude, like going up and down the mountains and stuff like that. We need something that's reliable that can get us to New York City or Boston, and having like a Lamborghini or something like really fast, like a sports car like that would be cool and everything, but we'd probably kill the engine driving back and forth from like, you know, the Philadelphia area all the way down to Chicago, or, you know, from Philly to New York City. Eventually the thing is just not gonna, doesn't have the type of engine that like a Jeep would have.
I remember The Rock in the 90s flexed his fanny pack, says Chad. Yeah, The Rock had interesting clothes in the 80s and 90s. I like doorless cars. Interesting, Batman. How low they have sunk with superficial depths, says Ashley.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting
well,
at too.
That's what I feel like for me. Like I've gotten to the point in my life where I would rather save that money to visit Luke's grandmother or my family than buy a car like that, because some things are more important. But obviously the 20-year-olds that are on YouTube, they don't realize that all that money they're spending on that car, you know, that could help their family, or that could help somebody in need. They don't understand that.
One sec. Hey guys, we're stuck here and we'd like to, you know, clear this level. Do you guys know how to get through this door? Is it a glitch? Do I need to start over? Because nothing I'm doing is getting this door to open.
You want me to jump in and try to find it?
Amber, I've literally gone and combed over this entire area. Like, there's no change, honey. Like, there's something in this room that we're supposed to do in order to get out of here.
I was gonna grab something to eat real quick before my thing. Could I eat something?
Yeah, go eat something real quick. Just don't make something, like, super extravagant that it'll take you, like, a long time to eat.
I'll make my cheese thingy first right now.
Okay. It's okay. I'll try to gauge the chat with how to get past this thing, because I know I'm supposed to jump on something, but it's not working. Yeah? There wasn't an issue with the burner? Yeah, I think this might have glitched or something. Oh wait, no, I see it now. That was really hard to see. Ugh. My eyesight isn't what it used to be. It's my Jeep. It's my Jeep. Thank you guys. Sorry about that. I did have a pretty loud sneeze. Link was on my lap. So Link, I didn't used to sneeze this much, but I am allergic to cats. So Link was on my lap, and he got a lot of hair all over my lap. So I'm gonna have to take the roller. They see me rolling with the roller, and I'm gonna on the break I'm gonna roll my pants and get as much cat hair off, because I'm having some breathing stuff. And it was really, Amber always wanted an orange tabby because the tabby she wanted that she fell in love with when she was a little girl, her parents gave away to some little girl that they knew, and I don't know why the reason is. Like, but they wanted to get rid of all the cats, but Amber really wanted the orange one. So when, the opportunity arose for us to get an orange tabby, and Amber thought he looked really cute and stuff like that, because he was a very timid cat once. He's not timid at all. Like, he's very... I know. Yeah, so so it made Amber really happy to get the orange cat. So we went with Link, but Link is, for like our entire marriage, we've had cats that are hyperallergenic because I have breathing problems with cats a little bit. Like, that's why our room has to be like non-cat, because we can't do that. So Link gives me a little bit of stuff, and I take like ibuprofen, and if things get really bad, obviously I stay away from Link, or I keep him in the basement. But it was important for me to be like, you know what, we have this opportunity to get this orange cat, and he looks adorable, and he looks like he's going to be a fun and an adventurous cat, which I still think Link kind of is. So, we made the decision to get him, and Amber really likes the little guy. She likes tigers, but the fact that Amber's like, how do you become a cat whisperer? I ignore cats. And cats don't like to be ignored. So even though I can't be around Link very much, right? Link makes the decision, hey, I like this guy, so I'm going to jump on him. I'm going to be around him whenever I want. And, I really like this human. But for me, it's like somebody who has cat allergies. It's kind of like, get away from me because, I need my personal space. And Link's like, personal space doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. So, that happens quite a bit. But I will say this. Our next cat that we get years from now, we're going back to the hypoallergenic, because as I get older, I'm gonna have like problems like my grandmother. My grandma was really, like, my dad's mom had horrible cat allergies to the point where she would have to be hospitalized. And she would still visit us even though we had cats, but I remember numerous times as a kid where my grandma had to go to the hospital in our, visiting us because the cats would be out or something instead of in the basement or in the laundry room. And my grandma would run into them, and off my grandma would go to the hospital. And because I have that bloodline in me, it's possible that, years from now I could have, like, serious complications, like, breathing-wise, like almost asthma, from cats. And I hope not, because I love cats a lot. I grew up with cats my entire life. I've had a cat ever since I was, like, 6 years old. I think. Yeah, it was like 6 years old. Use Legolas? I don't know what I'm supposed to use Legolas for, but I'm not 100%ing this. I'm doing the best I can because the series doesn't do the best. At least now we can turn in some of the side quests that we were needed to turn in. You guys excuse me 1 sec, please. Alright, I'm back. Ugh.
Are you okay?
I have to get the cat roller after.
Oh, I found one.
Yeah, I know. I saw the roller upstairs. I've been using it. Okay, we have some stuff to turn in, so let's turn in these quests. There we go. This is a 239.
Just trying to get some protein in me.
I know, Ember. Use Legolas. Yeah, also I notice when how I know I'm allergic too is when Link scratches me, like the area where I get scratched like turns bright red and bumpy, and that shows cat allergies. So when Zelda scratches me, I don't the cat scratch doesn't hurt as much. But when Link scratches me, it's like there's an allergic reaction, which is weird. I don't know why that is. But his cat scratches hurt way more. Even his, like, little... He just kind of, like... He was stretching and he scratched me. But the entire area where I've been scratched is, like, bright red. And the cut is, like... It's bubbly or whatever. It's, like, raised up or whatever. Yeah. And that shows... It's inflamed. That's what happens when I get stung by bees. Is like when I get stung by bees, like the little stinger becomes like a big, like the size of a quarter on my arm or something like that.
I learned a fun fact about bee stings. If you get that stinger out of you as soon as possible, it'll put less venom in you.
Yeah, I know. That's why my parents, because I was allergic to bees, and you know we didn't really have EpiPens were not very common. Whenever I got stung, my dad would immediately get the stinger out with tweezers, which hurt like crazy.
I didn't know that, but as soon as you get it out, it stops putting the venom.
He's right behind you. They're both there. I've never seen them both hang out up there.
You have my thanks.
You have my thanks. And my bow. And my whatever. Alright, that's done. It's returning in quest items. And somebody wanted a golden axe. So we just have to look on the map to where somebody wanted a golden axe. Usually you can find places that turn in quests based on there's an exclamation mark.
Just looking at when another stream is going to be.
6:45 is what we're shooting for. So we have to get the VR thing working like immediately, which usually takes 15-20 minutes for the sound to work, which it's the only thing I hate about VR is I think that there's some pretty cool VR games that Amber's interested in showing. But what I hate about the VR is even now, it takes about 15 or 20 minutes to get the VR started. And we can't even run the music like to keep the views stable because we have to see what's going on in the equipment. So it's a pain in the neck. I know we have the golden axe, so who wants the golden axe? I remember somebody specifically saying, hey, we need this golden axe. And I'm not seeing it anywhere. Because there was a statue we turned in, and then there was somebody who specifically said, hey, there it is, there's the golden axe. So it's in forest land. It's elves. Somebody in the elves world. Well, I mean, the VR, yeah, VR is very expensive. Like it's like VR is like for rich people gamers. Yeah. It's like what rich people find is entertaining, but you have to understand that the VR machine, we didn't buy it. Like it was given to us by the company to cover the Arkham game. Yeah. Like so after the Arkham game, like we could basically use the VR machine as much as we want, like for whatever we want because it's ours. And we already said thank you to the developer during the Arkham Shadow. Like I think 5 Arkham Shadow or 4 we acknowledged where it was. And in the description it says that the system and the game were provided by the developer. So we did the full transparency for the Federal Trade Commission. Like so we're in full compliance, blah blah blah. Yeah, we were given an option like either you come to Germany for the games convention to get hands on the game, or we'll give you the system and the game so you can cover it when it comes out. So I opted for because I can't travel without my wife, like, and they're not gonna foot the bill for 2 people to go to Germany and stay there for like a couple days. So I was just trying to keep things simple, and also my wife's not gonna let me buy like a $500 VR machine.
I think you keep this between us. but I'm keen to explore combat with a
So
dwarven
when
axe.
the developer
I'll
gave
devote
the
two
choice of,
secrets
hey,
surviving
you
the
want the
perilous
system or
struggle
would you like to
forward
come and get
make
hands
a
down,
shockwave axe for
I took the buried route. It did the
You chose kindness to
I
his wife
thank you to
over
keep this between us, but I'm keen to explore combat with a dwarven axe.
wait, a mithril shock. Wait, this is not it. This is the. I thought this is the golden axe guy. Is it not the golden axe guy? Where's the golden axe guy? There's two axe guys in the same place? Huh? There's two axemen. Okay. Well, that's weird. I can't even talk right now because I'm so stuffy because of Link. Like, my eyes feel like they're all watery and junk. And it's making my nose feel weird.
Good thing you weren't on Dreamlight Valley. It was all about spiders.
I don't like spiders. Okay, so this is the guy that wants the golden axe.
So we're gonna be starting in like 7 minutes?
No, we're going to probably start at 7. We're going to do the best we can. I'm ending the stream now, though, because I did everything that I was supposed to, and we got the super chats, and...
Alright, I'm just gonna pour coffee into my drink.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know how to exit out of this. I'm just so out of it. There we go. Alright, so, in order for you guys to get another episode of LEGO Lord of the Rings, you know the spiel. 1,000 views is required. We're at 965 views. That's the best we could do. Thank you guys so much for financing this episode. You guys gave $30 in fan funding, so you're awesome. We don't deserve the amount of charity and generosity that you guys do, but it really does help keep the lights on and it keeps us in business. So thank you very much. I have a feeling this will get 1,000 views, but we'll play it by ear. Next up is going to be Amber's VR series. So if you guys could head over to the VR thingy, as well as
There's both of ours.
well, you know what I mean. Amber's the pilot of this one. Yeah. I'm the plucky comedy person, but also I'm trying to help her like with stuff. So Iron Man needs 40 likes to start, ladies and gentlemen, and it's currently at not 40 likes. So head on over to Iron Man and we'll see you there. And then later tonight will be Multiverses and then something else. Ghost of Tsushima will be on Saturday. I believe Ghost of Tsushima did get 1,000 views. I think. Yeah, it did. So this Saturday will... Whoa! No.
What is happening?
The music of Lord of the Rings happened for a brief second. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me get my, I'm getting my coffee.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone. You're amazing. Thank you for all the kind words. And we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys for all... Thank you guys very much for everything you do.
If you guys could go watch the Game Awards video, that'd be fantastic while you wait. Or if you guys could watch some YouTube shorts while you wait, that will help keep the views consistent on the channel. If more and more people would watch the YouTube shorts every day, the channel would do better. So just like, if you're able to watch like 4 or 5 shorts or even the shorts playlist, that would help out tremendously. And we'll see you guys over on, I said Arkham VR, didn't I? Iron Man VR. God bless, happy gaming. See you guys in just a little bit as we get the VR machine hooked up. VR machine is such a pain to hook up.